That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me
Can you believe it?
Just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me Fuck all that shit, just let me go.
Wasn't tastemakers, no badass. You broadcasting like a fucking pacemaker. The original Top of the Morning. Sitting behind the glass. We had a big problem.
Hopefully you guys can hear me now.
Yeah, it's nice. We had some kind of problem. Interesting. I used it for years. Up until about a year ago, I did everything analog, but I started broadcasting digitally because Discord allowed a screen share, so the sound was really good. Like, remember you used to do the screen, you couldn't get the audio? Well, once that came in, I decided to do everything digital. We're back doing analog, which I guess is a good thing. We're kind of doing a mix of the way we used to do it. I don't know if I sound better or worse or what have you, but it's definitely acceptable. It's definitely professional. So I do apologize for that last cast, and hopefully we can get something at that. Remember, Shop to the Point, we survive on donations and stuff like that. I don't need to lecture you. Like, share, comment. I'll make more of an effort to kind of interact with you in the comments. Listen, fuckhead. Other than just a like or something like that. Circuitry, thanks so much. 65 months. Wow. And the circuitry's been on all the time. Yeah, you old school guys keep it afloat. I forgive you for being late. But will your God? That's Kinetic Kel. Had a great interview with Kinetic Kel, by the way. I really enjoyed myself.
That's good.
Did I tell you about that?
Looking forward to it.
Did I tell you
I think you told me when you got off about it. Yeah.
Oh, that's such a good time. You know what I think she should do? She should do the lolcow thing and then release the whole thing raw. That's what I think she should do. I think it was a really nice conversation. There's one thing she's got to cut, though. I asked her because of my interest in the Irish heritage thing. I did ask her her surname. But so she's got to cut that. But and it was exactly what I thought it was. So yeah, we're good. All right, today we got a reaction show. I don't know. I'll try to make it funny. I'll do my best. But I thought H3 made some. And I'm kind of last guy getting to this. Tom did it, and I think Chud did earlier today. But I was kind of blown away by the sincerity of the whole thing, coming from H3. If you remember, I was probably the only person, and probably say, hey, he's unhinged. Why would you sit down with somebody that wouldn't mind seeing you dead? And I don't think that was an outrageous statement at the time when I said that about Hasan, and I said it for two fronts. Probably his. If I had to guess, and considering the way he behaves, probably a lot of anti-Semitic horse shit growing up alongside Muslims. And the other thing is, I'm well aware of the way the Soviets, because he's a commie, don't fucking twist it. It's what he is. And the way they feel about Jews. I mean, the right wing is kind of like, they killed Jesus and they run the banks. And the left is like, they run the banks and they make money. I want their money, you know. And, Arab extremists, or not even Arab extremists, you can be Arab and a Jew, actually. Muslims extremists like, I want to kill him. That's it. I don't care about Jesus. So I thought, he's obviously had a bit of a come to Jesus moment with Hasan. He realized that he probably partnered with somebody that, apparently Hasan's been going after his wife too. Now I'm okay with making fun of. I made fun of his wife as well, but I heard it's like unusually vicious. I don't think that she killed anybody being in the IDF. I think she was a female soldier that had to serve, like most people do over there. And judging the fact that I don't think she did too much killing. I think it's funny to put her in that position. This idea that they're running around slaughtering children. It's
little like short.
Yeah, it's a funny short. But any kind of like real, like I that's because it's so ridiculous. That's why it's funny.
Exactly.
But any kind of like she's doing stuff like that, it's really awful, and it just shows you. I mean, you look no further than the way Jews were treated in the Soviet, like post World War II Soviet times, and prior to that, they get it on both wings. and which is, I always wonder why they go to the left so much. And I do wonder if I'm interested to see the Jewish vote after the election. And I never understood the anti-Semitic thing. I mean, I grew up with somebody that was extremely anti-Semitic, and I remember the Jews did this, Jews did that. I was like, well, did they? I don't know. I'm from New Jersey, you know. I didn't have a lot of close Jewish friends. I'm not going to say I'm bullshitting you, but I had friendly acquaintances, and I'm also familiar with the annoying Jewish stereotype. Really, it's more New York area. I'm familiar with that, but that's all it is annoying. And it's like every other stereotype. Not all Irish are drunks, and not all Jews are annoying and cheap. You know, but I always found it like because it's never just, it was always like, oh, Indians are smelly, and that's where it ended. It's Jews are bad and evil. That was like, well, Indians are smelly, Irish are drunks, Italians are gangsters, but Jews are just Satanists in disguise. And it just kind of blows my mind. I'm surprised that he didn't know this. I think Ethan's a little bit ignorant and a little less ignorant now. And, the history of the far left relation. I'll give you an example that I read. I had to do some research. There was a terrorist group here called the RAF. No, not the Royal Air Force, called the Rote Army Faction, which is, and I remember there was a woman, I think she actually worked here in Wiesbaden. Her name was Eureka Meinhof, and she was just a stupid idiot that got tied up with a left-wing terrorist group and ended up supporting them.
Buddy. But
I read some of the stuff she said. And remember, now keep in mind, she's like a stone commie. And she said, I'm going to paraphrase heavily. I don't mean to like promote anything Hitler. I mean, the commies hate the Nazis. I need to support anything Hitler, but I do understand why Germans and Hitler had a problem with this merchant class and their worshiping of capitalism. Now that's heavily translated, but it gives you an idea, like where that hate comes from and how old it is. And I think what's his face just finally came through with it. I'm really more here to listen and get my own take on it. I also have, if it doesn't go that long, because this is kind of a reaction day. I got the dumbest fake speed run, and my favorite subject: father got arrested for letting his son date his hot teacher. It's one of my favorite subjects because it's a phenomenon. Why hot chick teachers like to bang 15-year-old guys. I don't get it. I don't get it, It's funny to me.
Buddy.
Now, everybody should go to jail, but I'm not going to be like these manosphere guy and act like these women are like fucking... I'm not acting like those kids are victims unless they were forced down and raped forcibly by a woman. Think about that. All right, here we go.
Okay, just a little bit more.
Okay, here's my goal with this. I'm going to get through this as quickly and factually as I can.
Is he using the Keemstar sound effect too? How about that?
That's what I heard. Yeah, the da 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 da.
Yeah.
Feel that I need to say this. I need to address this once and for all. And just, this is it, okay? So let's turn off chat. Because you know what I mean? Whatever you guys have to say at this moment.
He does not seem as crazy as he used to be. He used to be like batshit crazy.
I don't know. I don't want it to be toxic. That's it. That's why I'm turning it off.
Yeah, you got in bed with a far leftist and you found out, and with a Muslim background, and you found out they hate Jews. Shocking.
Right. As I said, I'm going to be quick and factual. There's no fluff. I want to get through it as fast as I can. This is not something you're interested in. Obviously, I understand. I would suggest you refer to timestamps or catch our Friday show if you don't want to watch this. Totally understand. Before I begin, I would like to address a couple of points that I know will be brought up. One that I hear a lot: why don't you talk to Hasan about this privately? I did text him a couple of weeks ago after I saw the clip of him saying that he had no problem with Hezbollah. I texted him that I thought it was pretty disappointing and disturbing the way that he was I'm on no sleep. Sorry. What's the word? He was hyping up Hezbollah.
I mean, maybe I'm going to end up criticizing Ethan a lot. You didn't know he was it's not. I don't think it's even arguable. There are people that want to end the war that have a problem with Israel as a nation that don't hate Jews. They do exist, right? Hasan was never that guy. He's a terrorist sympathizer and always was, and only went on with the Jews when it furthered his narrative. Like, how did you not know that? How did not anybody in your family know that? How did your wife not know that? Growing up right next to this kind of insane anti-Semitism. How did you not know this? How is this not in front? I mean, I sound like I'm talking about Bobax or Mama Max. How does anybody not know this? Does anybody read a history book? Anything? I mean, look, I'm not that well educated, but shit, I'm well aware of that shit. How? All right, that really doesn't matter with some of the points he's going to make, but it's mind-blowing to me. Mind-blowing.
And granted, when I texted him that, I said, you don't have to respond to me. I totally understand because it's unsolicited.
What's his name? A king to none. Because he's making money to son. No, it was deeper than that. This guy's made a fucking money. I don't buy that. It's just that he had decided that the Germy right, the quartering right, was a bigger threat to society than the guy that finds sympathies with Hezbollah. That's what happened. In some ways, H3 was hypnotized by hate as well.
Yeah, no, it's.
Do you know what Jeff?
To be honest, it's a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, it's kind of a little bit shocking to see Ethan this kind of depressed.
Because he probably, and I'm going to give him credit for this, because he feels like a moron.
Yeah.
He feels like a dope. We already kind of knew he was a dope, especially that Sam Cedar stunt that he did. We knew he was a dope, and now he's probably faced with it. But you know what most dopes do? They continue to be dopey. I saw this guy, his name is Jason Begay, and he was part of that Scientology cult. And they asked him, I'll never forget this. They asked him, why do people, he said that most people at the top, when they get the Xenu and stuff, they don't buy that bullshit, right? And the natural question is, why do they keep paying them? Because it's easier to pay the Church of Scientology than to come out and say, I'm a fucking moron! That's why.
Okay.
That's it. I'm stupid! What?
I will say that when you had your little freak out there, it cut out. Probably because of the noise suppression. So I have no clue what you said.
I said I'm a fucking moron.
Oh, okay.
I think I can handle that. Oh no, it is. I guess I yelled too much. We'll worry about that later though. So I mean, it is. It's much easier to go along with it after you realize that you're in the wrong. I mean, how many Nazis do you think that happened to? I bet a few.
Yeah.
I bet a few.
Or maybe their parents who kind of set them off to go into the Hitler Youth and whatnot, or we're all for their kids going into the Hitler Youth.
From what I understand, they came to you. From everything the Germans tell me over here. At first, it was volunteer, and then it was be here at a certain time. That's the way I understand.
Yeah, no, but
I told you what my Indian ex-wife did, right? She hated her grandfather for years, only to find out that he was forced in. Because he made a comment, what was it like? Because what happened is he went in the battlefield, got captured by Americans. They put him in with a German-American family with a whole bunch of other German kids and raised them until the war was over and they released him. So he had a great time. All he did was eat pretzels and play football. And he felt like a man. I got a gun. I'm a man. That's what every teenage boy wants. I'm manly. He's lucky he got captured.
Criticism. I get it. But I was kind of hoping to open the door to a more personal conversation.
No.
He did not reply, which I took as basically just we're on the opposite sides of this issue and talking isn't going to really help, which I get. And I agree. That's probably where we're at.
Wasn't Ethan pretty critical of, he's not the first Jew I've ever met that's been critical of Israel.
Oh, yeah. No,
he wasn't exactly go Israel.
No, he had some videos that goofed on him.
He doesn't
when
like
he
the
traveled
right.
to Israel.
He doesn't like the right. Well, goofing on Israel, and I think is different than. I mean, he's made fun of Jews before. There's nothing wrong with making fun of Jews. You know, when you get into the Holocaust jokes aren't funny, but
unfortunately. But I
mean, I suppose they can be funny. Not, but you know, it's like when the joke is "haha, you're dead," it's usually just hate. You know.
Try.
Yeah.
And again, not to blame him because I said you don't have to respond. Just so you know, I felt I needed to tell you this. So like, it's not like, that's what happened. Okay.
He's coming to terms with the fact that
and in
Hasan
fact, we
always
haven't
hated him
spoken in a few months. We've spoken very
because
little
he was a Jew. That's and it's probably difficult. I can't imagine somebody hating me, like really hating me. And I experienced a little in the army, nowhere near, because I was either Catholic or Irish American. I did experience a little in the eye. They don't like Italians, and they don't like the Irish from the East Coast. Mm-hmm. And there are guys down south like that.
Since the show ended, obviously, this is what I don't like. I've been taking these stupid.
But I don't think they wanted me dead.
Little pot shots at him and Instagram stories and stuff. Something happened over the past few days that really fucking set me off and made me get kind of just like determined to finally just do this once and for all. So obviously things have gotten more strained between us as time has gone by. And after some recent events, which I'll get into, I find it impossible not to say anything. You know, people don't need to speculate about our relationship, about our opinions about each other. I just want to address it now openly, bluntly. As a person, as a friend, I respect Hasan. I don't think you need to choose between us. It's not like that.
He's not your
In fact,
friend.
It's not personal at all.
He's not your friend.
I am seeing a concerning rise in anti-Semitism and a normalization of it in a way that I don't think Hasan is anti-Semitic, but I do think that stuff he does contributes to it. And I know that's a big claim. However, I hope that you will watch.
He's unbelievably generous. I just want to point how unbelievably generous he's being. And it's very difficult when we get through this that if he still has that opinion by the end of this.
Through, I believe it's well supported, and I feel that it will be persuasive if you listen to what I'm saying. So please, at least give me the due. Give me your ears for a moment to hear me out, and feel free to disagree with me all you want, but. Yeah, but again, like, it's not, I mean, Hasan can do better. He can conduct himself better, in my opinion. You know, it's possible that we could be friends again down the line.
I don't know
not
how.
That we stop being friends, but we could be friendly again or more on talking terms. I don't know. Down the line.
If an Englishman said to me unironically certain things about Irish people or Irish Americans, I don't think we could be friends. But like, I don't think it would ever happen. You know, I've heard bomb jokes and stuff like that. I'd fucking tell a bomb joke, you know. But there is a line, and the line's hate. It's not. It's jokes. I don't think that's what's going on here. I don't think what's going on here. No. You know.
But at the moment, he is like the lead. He's kind of like the most prominent voice on this issue. So it's not personal. It's literally just addressing where this is all coming from.
How could it not be personal? I don't.
Another comment that I read all the time that I want to address up front.
I think he's trying to sound sane.
Himself that.
He's trying to tell, but I think he's trying to sound sane too. And I think he's dancing with the audience a little bit. If they hate you for being Jewish, and the only Jewish you can be is a self-hating Jew, then fuck that shit. I would never tell a Muslim to be a self-hating Muslim. I mean, I've had this fucking conversation with Walt when he would get angry about, because he had to grow up with all sorts of bullshit. I go, don't hate your culture, don't hate yourself. Think of the good shit.
And it's kind of the heart of all.
Does anybody still have a problem with the Irish? Yes, but I'm talking about over here. And yes, but it's not that common. It's there. You got to remember, the 1992 was the Irish Peace Accord project. I know that seems like a fucking long time ago to you, Aiden, but it's not.
Clip of that?
And yes, there are issues with the Irish. There's issues in Glasgow right now with Catholics and Protestants, and there's issues. One of the reasons there's not issues with those Celtic nut jobs, the Welsh, is because everybody's Protestant. But there are plenty of issues in Northern Ireland and occasional violence.
All the problems that I'm having here is that I hear all the time.
In the States, we're long past Irish need not apply. I do understand what you're saying, Andy.
In fact, this was the top comment.
I'm using that as an example of what my line would be. And I, by the way, I did experience some bigotry that I could totally handle and didn't ruin my life in the military over being Catholic and being Irish and being loud.
Comment on a thread on our subreddit is that with all the terrible things happening in Gaza, I can't bring myself to care about anti-Semitism. Which I understand the sentiment, right? There are terrible things happening in Gaza. However, these are the people who are nonstop trying to convince everybody that Zionism is not Judaism and convince themselves that we don't hate Jews, we just hate Zionists. So when I complain about anti-Semitism, why is it that it always goes back to Israel? It seems that they're the ones that are confused about Zionism and Judaism. Because again, if I'm complaining about anti-Semitism, what does that have to do with Gaza, or what does that have to do with Gaza? You know what I mean? Apparently, according to them, nothing, if they're not related. This is a confusion that is at the root of the problem I'm having of contributing and rising anti-Semitism that I'm seeing, is this usage of the word Zionism, which is basically become a catch-all. It doesn't mean much, and it has a whole spectrum of meaning. As I'll show, it can mean, like, if you look at a leftist Israeli, you ask them what Zionism is, they'll tell you, a lot of people tell you it's Western expansion, like settler expansionism, right? And they say, oh, I'm anti-Zionist, I'm against that. Where the idea of, like, taking Israel off the map, they'd be like, that's insane. Like, obviously, no. So are they a Zionist? Or is it a Houthi pirate that Hasan's been hyping up, and a Houthi flag that says "curse upon the Jews" and "death to Israel"? Is that
Hasan pro to that guy? Everything he just said is true. How could you afford him any generosity after that? Now, in the extremely unlikely, let's say, Optimus. All right, Optimus is a Protestant. We're very close. I'm a Catholic. We both have Celtic blood in our background. If he were ever to do something like that, or be glad that Catholics, we're done. We're finished. We're done. Buddy. I wouldn't make a big thing about it. We're done. And I think if I said some of the same similar things, he would be done with me. I don't understand why you're not done with him.
At Zionism, what does it mean? What does it mean? People call me a Zionist all the time on the internet. To what extent does it? The extent of my Zionism is this: do I think Israel should be wiped off the map? No. Zionist. That's the extent, and that's all it takes to
filthy
hit me with that
Zionist.
catch-all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny you just said
Disgusting.
filthy Zionist, because it sounds like to me that they can't say, they don't have the balls to say filthy Jew.
No,
That's
not
what
at
they
all.
really, that's what it sounds like to me. I think, I don't know enough about this stuff to talk about it. There's probably some settlement issues and stuff like that, some political stuff that could probably, you could argue with Israel with, I'm sure. But that's what it is. If it's a good way of not sounding like a foaming at the mouth bigot when you can say Zionist, because Zionism isn't a group of people. It isn't the Jews. It's Israel. Yeah. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. And in that sense, like, if Zionism just means the settlements parts, yeah, I think you could be against Zionism, sure. I mean, if that's the case, but let's be honest here.
And it's turned into a slur. I'm going to get into all that, and I hope you guys will listen. I'm grateful to everybody who's a fan of both of us. I hope you will not take this personally. It's completely reasonable to be a fan of both of us, and I'm grateful that you're able to put aside whatever perceived differences we've had and able to enjoy both of us. If you decide you can't watch, understand, love you, know that processing things that are happening in the news is extraordinarily difficult. I will not judge anybody for walking away. Perhaps at this point in time, it's better for both of us if you do.
I know I'm throwing myself, I'm pulling a dark viper here. I sympathize still and support some of the problems and the bigotry towards Catholics in Scotland and in Northern Ireland, but I am not pro-IRA, and I never will be. Ever. They blow up. When I was a kid, They blew up discos in London. What the fuck did they do? You want some balls, kill a soldier. That's a little different. But they didn't do that. And I was supposed to fight. And I never bought that horse shit. And by the way, at that point, the IRA had been intercepted by far leftists. They were in bed with the RAF, Red Army faction. They were in bed with the Palestinians. They were in bed with the socialists.
Decide to do that. However, that being said, I do hope you listen to my presentation before deciding to depart. But once again, this is something in my heart that I feel I must communicate. And so that is what I'm doing. And I also want to say to everyone who's expressed their support to me over the past 2 days, I am extremely grateful. Thank you. There was a point
He's twitching
when
a
I
lot
felt
more than
like
normal.
literally nobody supported me. And it was just my own community was like, I felt gaslighting me and
like he's
just
tapping his foot
completely
against
Yeah.
the floor.
shitting on my beliefs.
I feel bad.
However,
I
there
can't
was
help it. I think this is
very, there was a very hopeful push towards some more healthy discourse that I felt encouraged by, and I want to thank the people that who did that.
Because I don't know if you know this. Like when he got in bed with this is the problem with getting in bed with somebody, and then the old Keemstar thing. You start a drama, make sure like the other guy started it. When you combine things like that, and then there's a separation, the fans go with you. And this channel gets very good views. It's very influential. He's not growing. So I don't know if but I just don't get the feeling because he keeps going on that's the number one thing for him, and it's just about money. Because Teddy Fred, he could retire today. So I think this is sincere. That's what the conclusion I've come to.
So thank you. Yeah. Also, I want to say to Hasan that I appreciate all the times you've defended me from your community.
I just want to point out something. I caught a fly with my hand. See that?
Oh my god!
Just like that. Boom.
Badass.
I'm a bad motherfucker.
Now you just need your chopsticks
I'm not
now.
one to hold someone responsible for what their fans do, as you probably know that our audience does crazy shit.
I didn't kill it either.
However, I do think that while you tell everybody to leave me alone or whatever it is you say,
Bruce doesn't believe you.
Okay.
That your rhetoric, your tone, the way you carry yourself on this topic is the reason why I'm being harassed by so many people online, a large part of your audience. So let's start from the beginning. Here's an album of the stories, just to catch you guys up to date. This started with this tweet I saw. By the way, I pulled this last night just to see where it was at. When I posted it, had like 30,000 likes. It says 90,000 likes, 2 million views. I never heard of this guy, it's from, first of all, Comrade Casey. Yeah, that Comrade Casey, the guy who...
So what do we got? We have 2 Jews and 2 guys that don't think it's okay to fucking slaughter Jews. What a bunch of horrible people.
Is a fucking absolute creepy weirdo who was posting Hamas simping shit via love. It was so weird. This dude... Anyway, you guys remember that whole thing.
It's normal.
He typed in and said, please stop.
Why is it weird when the left does it? I don't get surprised when Nazis talk about Jews the way they do or blacks. It never fucking surprises me at all. This idea that there's no extreme left and they're not just as bad as their opposition is insane to me. And anybody that grew up during the Soviet Union, oh my God. And I think that's part of the problem is you guys are born after 1990.
Stop talking about me. And well, continue to talk about me. Very good. And again, I'd also like to wonder, what the fuck is it exactly I've said or done to like belong in this image? I know what you're saying, right? What have I done?
You're a Jew.
I continually ask myself.
Not even a religious Jew. It doesn't even matter.
Am I being held up with these group of people? And anyway,
why don't you ask yourself what this group of people have done terribly wrong yourself? What, Bill Maher, what did he do? He's a Jersey Jew. What did he do? He's liberal and is sympathetic to the Palestinian cause as you are. He just doesn't like Islamic extremism. And then we have Asman, who called out Islamic extremism. And we have Destiny that doesn't like it either, supposedly. No, he doesn't. I'm just kidding. Like, how are these other three people evil? They put you in a picture with Stalin and Hitler and Pol Pot.
Benito Mussolini.
Yeah, or Mussolini or something. Nobody here has crazy views. Asman a little overboard. I'm going to apologize immediately.
I'm assembling a team. This guy, Hasan said, I hope they commit suicide squad. And which I found, I'm like, wow, okay, so 90,000 likes telling me to kill myself for a belief. And again, this is part of the problem. Like, what have I done? Like, why am I in these memes getting 2 million views of me telling me to kill myself? Because apparently I'm like anti-Islam or I hate God
I don't
or
know.
whatever. I mean, Asman Gold was just
I think you're crazy, Tommy, because he just keeps asking himself.
Saying horrible
he doesn't know.
Yeah, Destiny's pretty nutty. I mean, he's really nutty, and he has Destiny's crazy about people that politically disagree with him. It's okay for them to get killed. Yeah, but I mean, if you want to just take he's not in that picture because he had no sympathy for a guy trying to save his family from bullets at a Trump rally. He's not in that picture for that. Destiny's definitely a different story. Bill Maher, I mean, give me a fucking break. I don't agree with the guy either, but Jesus,
shit about like, I don't remember the verbatim, but he said something.
Asman was completely out of his depth.
Like Muslim.
Nick thinks he got goated. That he just got one guy and then just popped.
Yeah.
Culture or Arab culture is inferior, which is insane, right? It's fucked up. It's insane. When have I ever said anything like that? You know what I mean? Never. Okay? So, but since when is telling people to kill themselves like normal? And again, part of the irony of this
when they're your
thing
enemy
is that on the left, they're basically willing to undermine everything they believe in.
They don't believe it. They don't believe it. They're phonies.
Of going after Zionists because they see Zionists as subhuman. They see them as Nazis. They've given each other permission and consent and the green light to essentially target whoever they perceive as Zionists with whatever abuse they deem necessary.
I'm glad he said Nazis because nobody gives a shit. I've said this before about the people of Dresden. Nobody gives a shit about the people of Mainz, the people of Cologne. Nobody gives a fuck about them. You know why? Because there was collective punishment for allowing that monster to come to power. Nobody cares. I don't care. I wasn't even alive then. I really don't fucking care. And I have a German family, right? So what they have to do, they have to box everybody into being a Nazi so it justifies why they really feel because they hate everyone and anything that's different than them.
Necessary because they're Nazis and they're killing children and innocent people in Gaza. That is my problem. Anyway.
That's it right there. Ethan has a weird delusion that the left can't be evil. And I think I've run into that a lot from even honest leftists. People, yeah. We can't be. We're for peace. We're for this. Well, they're the party of war and they're party anti-free speech now, in the United States at least. And I'm pretty much all over the world because I'm hearing the European Union wants to go after Elon. They're going to find these other companies out besides X. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's that about? You're not allowed to challenge us.
I responded to this tweet telling me to kill myself with 90,000 likes. I said deranged shit telling me to kill myself with 36,000 likes at the time, 36. Hey, what exactly as I said or did? Nobody has ever been able to tell me. Moving on to the next one.
You're a Jew. That's what it is.
It made me think of this tweet from our wonderful...
Yeah, he can't get around. He doesn't want to believe it.
No.
You know what the trick with this is? I don't personally believe this. I don't think that fucking conservatives are perfect or even libertarians for that matter are perfect. And I'm sure there could be evil found in all those ranks. Like you could find evil. You could find evil among school teachers. You could find also everywhere. Junior hockey, you could find it everywhere. This idea that there's a place where people think and there's no evil, that evil can't infiltrate it is just insane. And then if you put that to a lot of these leftists, I don't believe that. But they behave in a way in which you would think that. So it makes me think they're lying. or they're just not honest enough to themselves. There's not enough self-inspection. I think they'd be evil anywhere, anytime, any group of people, and any ethnicity. And here's the best part about evil. Here's the best part about evil. You know, you can tell an evil cult, don't talk to your parents ever again. Break away from your family. They have all these evil things have the same fucking cult mentality. You can pick it out like that. It's just take whatever you believe in that's kind of normal and then take it to the extreme. Like you have to subjugate, like push people away from you.
Houthi pirate, the cute Houthi pirate, the Hasan interview.
I'm not above anything, but I like to think I'm not evil. Like, all right, I suppose.
Viewed. And I remembered this.
I don't think I'm not trying to play middle of the road here. I've been Baba Booey. I'm a right-wing guy. There's no doubt about it. I am absolutely anti-terrorism, especially Islamic terrorism. But I kind of prioritize. What's more of a threat to me? Christian terrorism? No. Islamic terrorism? Yes. That could directly affect my life. Imagine not being evil in 24 and missing out on the
tweet he put out. Just a cute tweet from our favorite Houthi. Same people telling me to kill myself love this guy. And that's true. They do. They love him.
This is that's one of the Houthi things. The execution that would carry out on the Zionists. And if I'm not mistaken, that is a picture of Vlad the Impaler, another evil maniac throughout history. That's what he used to do to his enemies in Romania.
Oh, yeah, that's what he used to do.
Yeah, when he used to do it to Christians and then Muslims, whatever side worked until they fucking finished him off.
Hasan interviewed him. He hypes him up even as recent as like this week. This is a tweet he put out. The execution that we will carry out on all Zionists. And it features...
Where is Jeff Bezos on this? Isn't he a Jew?
Oh,
I bet this auto completes because people are nuts. Who's a Jew? Find the Jew. Is Jeff Bezos Greek, married? No, it didn't auto complete, so he's probably not a Jew. Is Jeff Bezos is not Jewish? Okay, did not know that.
Somebody whose arms is tied behind their back and they've been impaled by a spike through their asshole and up and through their mouth. Now, I would like to know what people go. Hasan talked to him and he said he's not a Houthi, and he says he doesn't hate Jews. Why is it you?
I don't believe him.
Understand how this works with every other minority group. Like, do you really think that if I ask this guy, like, tell me what do you think a Zionist is, that he would have some nuanced answer about the difference? I mean, as you'll see, this kid is a rampant anti-Semite and a violent Houthi terrorist, which I will prove to you guys, in my opinion, beyond a shadow of a doubt. However, so like this kind of rhetoric, frankly, disgusts and scares me. People call me a Zionist. People call my wife a Zionist. It's my family. It's my children's life. Okay? And this is a guy someone who I considered a friend, is talking about how cute and funny and awesome he is. Well, the immediate reaction to this was our subreddit getting mobbed by Hasan fans and probably snarkers. Overwhelming the comments. Overwhelming it. Now, here's where they say. Top comment. This dude isn't a Houthi. He literally said it in an interview with Hasan. Like, how fucking obtuse are you, seriously? Like, David Duke says he's not a Klan member and he doesn't actually hate black people. It's like, okay, so I guess he doesn't. Like, are you fucking dumb?
Yeah, exactly. What about you? What about you? What about you? Exactly. I don't buy David Duke's bullshit either. He's in the Ku Klux Klan. He continues to say crazy. He's still alive?
Ooh, I don't know.
He used to be a big fucking target of the left in the 75 years old Oklahoma. Original founded the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan. Yeah, I mean, people can change, but it's not him. David Duke endorses Green Card. He had Jill Stein for president. He's an old school Democrat.
I'll calm it down. But yeah, obviously, he isn't a Houthi. He literally said it to Hasan. Okay, great. Also, this is the part that they go after. This tweet is fake. Just like Ethan, you morons have been duped. Now, I'm thinking to myself, I saw this tweet. I remember it. This is a real tweet. What's going on here? Then people uncritically start accepting it. Wait, for real? Jesus Christ, the misinfo is nuts. Then they respond, yes, and sycophants that are willing to believe Muslim Arabs are inherently evil will fall for this, like Ethan. Now, excuse me.
That's
I said
funny.
this kid's a piece of shit.
Kind of ironic.
And all you heard is
The people that believe that the Jews are inherently evil are offended with the idea that somebody might think Arabs are offended. That's crazy to me. By the way, Arabs are not inherently evil.
Arabs are evil? I mean, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Like, why is that what you heard? Continuing, here's a Hasan. Both of these, this guy's
okay.
a Hasan.
Tyrone, another Muslim. David Duke now supports Jill Stein for president, as it's due to his stance on Israel. So Jill Stein probably has a fucking crazy ass stance on Israel, if I had to guess.
We had Flair. Honestly, it's really sad watching Ethan slip into this rabbit hole and showing his bias. Brings back memory of that Forsaken Leftovers episode when he wouldn't even engage with Palestinian plight and kept saying, what about Israel? I don't even know what he's talking about exactly, but essentially they've all, and this is just an excerpt, but the whole chat was like, this is misinfo. Ethan's like lying, and this kid is innocent. He would never tweet this. He would never, ever tweet this.
Terrorists would never
Moving
do
on
that.
to the next one. I did a tiny bit of research, and I found the archive, thankfully.
The pirates are known for their civility.
I would have lost my mind if I didn't.
Okay, there's the
I
archive.
swear I saw it. Here's the tweet. It happened. The execution that we will carry out on all Zionists.
There you go.
Here it is.
There you
From this
go.
kid,
There
July
you
23rd,
go.
2024. By the way, he's banned on all social medias, and there's a reason for that. It's because he's a fucking terrorist, and he posts shit like this. Okay? Does that surprise anybody? I said, so now that we've proven it's real, I suppose we'll see a lot of apologies and corrections. Of course, we did not see that. But kind of what continues to shock me is, people on the left are so hypercritical of MAGA people being like divorced from reality and not listening to reason and not acknowledging facts and kind of just thinking, and whatever they think is real, they speak and it becomes real. That's literally what just happened in that chat.
Because everybody does it. All wings do it. Like, I don't know how. I don't know how you could come to the conclusion that my one side is not like what? Because you call yourself liberal. Like, is every headline on a newspaper 100% accurate? Well, the headline says. Or my personal favorite, the Anti-Poverty Act bill. What are you? You're for poverty? You're not going to vote for this thing? Well, there's a whole bunch of other shit in there. I mean, like, really? Oh, you voted against the Anti-Poverty Act bill. He's for poverty. I mean, do people really think like this?
I posted something that was true.
Yeah.
And because it went against their dogma, they swarmed our subreddit to accuse me of lying with zero evidence. Zero evidence. And
Winter Gaming says, now you know why I get so angry about this. Yeah, I know why people get angry about this, but you can't come on my fucking stream and wish people dead, because then you're the hypocrite. He wished Hasan dead on this fucking stream. I didn't fucking do that. And that's like, now you're one of them. Now you're one of them. Now they won. They turned you into exactly what they said you were, whether you were before. But you made, and that's the idea. That's why you're supposed to keep your fucking head.
People uncritically believe them. That to me is disturbing, and that to me is dangerous. Here's a post that, again, doesn't have a lot of engagement, but I was struck by the fact that it had minus excuse me. As I said, I'm getting over something nasty. This person said, so all the hate speech and threats of violence are fine because there's other horrendous violence. It's okay for everyone to post violent hate speech because violence exists. Please explain. Things can be bad without there being a comparison. It's not a zero-sum game.
Yes, it is.
I don't want atrocities, cruelty, and violence, and I don't want hate speech all over social media.
I disagree. I want to know where they are. Let them speak the hate. There's one point I don't think anybody should be taken down. That's another thing these guys get. Well, he's got to be taken down because it's hate speech. No, let's know where these people are. As long as he's posting on Twitter, Elon could take. It could tip off the next cruise missile.
Downvoted because
Oh
I guess
my
you guys
God.
are people threatening to kill.
I don't care about
people.
terrorists. Oh no, they are my enemy. I am very clear about that. But liberals are my death enemy. I mean, Jesus Christ. People disagree with me. People want to kill. You know, once you strap on that gun, you put it around. You go with the low ready. Your target. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're a girl or a guy. Once you then all bets are off. Prior to that, just speech, no.
Well, alive. All hate stuff is bad is apparently a controversial opinion. This world's so fucked. And he was
So is all lives matter. So now you get it. Are you making the connection?
this person was getting downvoted. And it's like, dude, this is in my own community. The consensus I should take,
shocking,
that I should just take the anti-Semitism and keep moving. And how dare I even complain or acknowledge it?
No. You are too. I mean, you see it all the time, you know, with whites and doing something about their privilege. That's what they're telling you to do. Abide. That's it. That's what it means. Abide. It's goddamn Roddy Piper in that Evil Dead movie, whatever the fuck that movie was. Abide, or else you're our enemy.
Absurd. I invite you to imagine even saying that to another minority group, and then being applauded and upvoted and cheered on for it. You know where you see that?
There you go. Obey.
Fucking probably
Obey.
4chan, or MAGA threads. Probably where you see white supremacists talking about other races and stuff that were there. Just shut up and take it. And once again, what does anti-Semitism have to do with Zionism? If I'm talking about anti-Semitism, and your response is, I just don't care because of all the stuff happening in Gaza. How is that related? You're the one conflating Zionism.
You listen to me.
And Judaism, and you do it all the time.
I think.
Next.
I think extreme liberalism can lead to communism when it can. You can, it's one step as far as being a fundamentalist Christian could potentially lead to the far right. Yeah, sure. I mean, that's not a crazy thought, and I never said that. I just said liberals are not my enemy, and I don't want them to die. You're stupid, James Jones.
Here's another one, Hasanabi head. I thought Ethan said he wasn't a Zionist, right? Fuck Zionists. For real, fuck Zionism. He is. I mean, again, there's a famous clip of him
Can you get from MAGA to full-blown crazy right-winger? Absolutely.
The West Bank, Palestine terrorist city. I'm not sure what that one is. But
you're not supposed to say that.
Again, I'm willing to.
No, I'm supposed to say what I'm supposed to say what he wanted me to say. That I said the liberals are my enemy, which I didn't. There are a level of liberalism that I probably couldn't be friends with, that are just completely insane. But they're probably communists saying they're liberals, and that happens too, by the way. Because you see people on the right. I'm just a conservative. No, you're a crazy right-wing maniac.
Thing that comes up.
People have do that all the time. They hide behind something normal or something disagreeable for their crazy views. Is this a radical thought? Is that not a truth?
Isn't a Zionist. So they're saying
I think the only reason you don't come to that conclusion is somebody says, "Wow, they think extreme on both sides." Yeah, everybody knows that. Yeah, I guess that's what I'm saying. I suppose, but I guess what I'm attacking is the idea that one of those sides has no extremism.
Why should he care about
that idea? Hold on,
let me make sure I'm doing this in order. So they're saying in response to the spike, this person being impaled by a spike to death, and him saying, "I want to kill all Zionists like this." They say, why should Ethan care? He's not a Zionist.
I don't understand why he doesn't know that. I wonder if that's a Muslim on the pike. You know that? Because keep in mind, Vlad Dracul played both ends. Mm-hmm. I wonder, that would be ironic if he posted a picture of a Muslim being impaled to fucking hate on Jews. That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
In fact, this is proof he's a Zionist because he doesn't like this. I thought Ethan said he wasn't a Zionist, right? Fuck Zionists. And again, reminder, this is a picture of someone being impaled from their asshole to their mouth. And people are saying, fuck Zionists. For real, fuck Zionists. These people are essentially co-signing these threats of violence.
Absolutely.
While calling me a Zionist. Because I apparently care about people being spiked up the asshole. FBI crime stats. This came out, I think, just last month.
Wazzo.
Oh my god.
Jews make up
Funny
2%
though.
of the population and 15% of hate crimes in America. Must be nice for people unaffected by anti-Semitism to tell Jews it doesn't matter. It must be nice to have that, to come from that that place of moral superiority when you're completely unaffected.
I heard Chris Rock say this joke once, because when after 9/11 happened, he was like, "Yeah, fuck terrorism. Yeah, fuck terrorism, and fuck the French. Yeah, fuck the French. All right." and then like Chris Rock was like, "You know what? It started to sound a little too much like and fuck those blacks and Jews, because that train,
God.
I'm quoting him, that train is never late, and it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
He's right.
It's quite stark. I mean, African American hate crimes are still number one, but for the proportion of Jews making up like 2% of the population of America,
2%.
the fact that they're number two is pretty stark.
It is amazing to me. This is the one thing that I like. Look, everybody's got stereotypes that are annoying, and some people live up to it. I don't care who you are or what ethnicity you come back from, including just being American. Forget what your heritage was. I mean, the loud, obnoxious, and fat. There's some truth in it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be being litigious, little prudy. There are some things, but it's like everything. A stereotype. You can't hold the stereotype as a. It's a broad generalization. So I get some of it in the sense that that some people live up to stereotypes. Like, I don't like when people behave this way, and this particular group does behave this way some of the time. But it's like anything. Like, it's not everybody, and that's kind of ridiculous. That's why I never got it. Or like, the Jews, they're rich. I'm like, oh, okay. I never understood it. It's 2% of the population, and they mostly live where I grew up. In like LA. That's it. Yet these are the most dangerous people. They're not dangerous to me. You blow up the Twin Towers.
So again, you'll hear this kind of relates to a statement Hasan says. Maybe I'll pull it up now. Okay. One sec. Hasan says 16 in the doc. Here it is. One sec here, guys. 16 in the doc. This relates to this.
I think what's crazy about this
he's
is
talking
that, like,
about, honestly, at this point, I don't even remember what me and Frogan were arguing about, but he's basically defending Frogan. Do you remember what happened, Dan?
Another person that
Dan
wishes
there?
people dead all the time.
What happened with Frogan? I literally don't even remember the details of it. You don't want to say it. That's fine.
You unfollowed her.
I say what?
You unfollowed her, and then she talked about it in Discord.
Is that what he's talking about? Oh, this is from the first one?
Say star.
Okay. So then that's what it's about. When I unfollowed her, and then she said I hate Arabs and stuff in Hasan's Discord. And instead of, and this is a mod on his channel, instead of, having a word with her about, what's going on.
Why would he do that?
He actually chastised me. For what? Let's see.
Ethan is very frustrated and very emotional in this moment, but doesn't recognize that, like, perhaps a Lebanese woman who's a hijabi in the United States of America could also be very emotional in this exact same moment.
It's your fault, Ethan.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what's so...
It's your fault you didn't want to hear it. You want to listen to her Jew-hating fucking timeline. You didn't make a federal case of it. You don't want to hear her bullshit. I don't know why anybody would want to hear that fat slob's bullshit.
The reality of the matter is anti-Semitism is an unacceptable form of bigotry, whereas Islamophobia is a very acceptable form of bigotry.
Everybody says the same shit, no matter what side they're on. I haven't even said that.
So being the bigger person in this situation, regardless of your feelings.
So
this coming from the guy that's not getting kicked off of Twitch, not getting 14-day bans, and then one of his colleagues, Asmongold, just got the 14-day ban and lost his fucking, his own company for allegedly saying something anti-Arab or anti-Muslim. Get the fuck out of here. I think depending on who's mad at you, they're both just as unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Like giggly moogly.
Yeah, but I see it's such a subjective argument too, just to get him like, well, what bigotry is more, acceptable?
Mm-hmm.
I don't fucking know.
So anyway,
Yeah.
And God forbid you actually read the chat. But what I'm hearing, frankly, is that anti-Semitism is not really an issue. And so you shouldn't. Your complaints are less equal than Frogan's complaints because.
Oh, good. Welcome to the world of being white. You're not allowed to complain when there's bigotry because what's the excuse that minorities aren't capable of it? Oh, wait a minute. You got like a college professor saying, well, if it's punching up, it's okay. Bigotry is okay.
Homophobia is more serious than anti-Semitism,
Sure.
Despite, by the way, the fact that, as I pointed out, in reality, or not the opposite, because there is Islamophobia, but like this claim that anti-Semitism doesn't exist because everybody knows it wrong, as I perceiving it, is absolutely false. I've never seen more open anti-Semitism in my life, my whole life. The way
I said when I used to play Quake in the 90s, it was really bad.
Oh my god.
It was really bad then. I think maybe because I grew up around a lot of Jews, and if you said something anti-Semitic, people were like, "What's the matter with you?" But when I started playing video games online, and people casually saying you Jewed me out of that frag, I'm like, "Whoa! Yeah. I can't believe people are saying this." It was mind blowing to me.
It's being normalized by the left and the right, and it's being kind of, in a case like this, he's normalizing it. He's normalizing it. He's greenlighting it.
Of course he is.
Again, FBI stats. Jews are number 2. 2% of the population, 15% of all hate crimes. Okay?
I tell you, I wouldn't want to be Hasidic right now. I don't know about it. If I had to pick, here's what you got to do. You got to be an Arab in New York, or you got to be a Hasidic Jew. I'm taking Arab every time.
Yeah.
This is all I'm.
Look, I'm not going to get into this fucking subjective debate, but I'm just saying where I'm at right now, I take being an Arab.
This is what I hear.
Crazy about
this to me is
that,
it's disgusting. Frankly, it's disgusting. It's a disgusting thing to say in the face of rising anti-Semitism, which once again, apparently has nothing to do with Zionism.
Ethan is.
So why is it, that when Stop Asian Hate, that movement happened, when, these terrible hate crimes were happening to Asian people during COVID, of random acts of violence in New York City and elsewhere, the people like Hasan.
That happened. That was a problem. Apex Legends told me.
Excuse me, and left rallied behind them. Nobody said, well, there is a chance China let it out of a lab, so, maybe the problem is that you need to get a hold of China. Maybe you wouldn't be getting punched in the face if China wasn't locking down its country and whatever. That's what I hear from people like Hasan.
Can I just say?
Keep in mind, I don't Did you hear something? I didn't hear anybody say when those Asian Americans were being attacked that well, that's what you get when the country you have share an ethnicity with starts a virus. I didn't hear anybody say that. I think it was pretty fucking unacceptable. I also remember being framed like it was mostly white people doing it. And it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Real quick, there's a few things I want to say, but I want you to finish. I know you have a lot.
There's another one I want you guys to remember. Who's the guy? You were probably little at the time, early YouTube. The Hispanic guy killed a black kid. What was his name? He's down in Florida. Help me out, chat. Zimmerman. German name. Means room man. How much you want to bet? They thought he was a Jew.
Oh, yeah.
How much you want to bet? He's happened to be half German.
To get through, so I'd rather say it at the end, but there are a couple things I'd like to say in response.
Okay.
And very emotional in this moment, but doesn't recognize that perhaps a Lebanese woman who's a hijabi in the United States of America could also be very emotional in this exact same moment. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's so... And
once again, comparing actions, I quietly unfollowed her to avoid any problems. She was posting what I perceived as sympathetic posts, encouraging and glorifying.
Imagine that, somebody wearing a hibaji, a hijab, posting sympathetic and anti-Semitic posts. Imagine.
Hamas violence against Israelis. Didn't want to see it. I unfollowed her. She started making a huge scene, and including going into Hasan's community
submit.
as a
because you unfollowing us is a sign of not submitting, and they don't want that.
Moderator and saying I hate Arabs. The actions are not equal, not even close.
The reality of the matter is anti-Semitism is an unacceptable form of bigotry, whereas Islamophobia is a very acceptable form of bigotry. So
again, her problem with Islamophobia is worth listening to. It's very real, and we have to listen to her. And frankly, she can't really do anything wrong. It seems like no matter what, because she's emotional, or she's a woman who's wearing a hijab.
Sound a little red pilled to me there, buddy.
Hijabi, he said. I don't know how to say it. Hijabi.
Getting out of line,
and so
Ethan. You're wandering off the reservation.
And I never get to complain about anti-Semitism, even though Jews on a whole, according to FBI stats, there's more hate crimes against Jews than there are at this moment than Arabs or Muslims, according to FBI stats. Now, I'm not saying it's not important. I'm just saying what he's saying here is factually wrong. It's just an outright lie to make it seem like Jews are complaining about something that doesn't exist, even though they are. And it's a gaslighting campaign that continues to go on. That's my take on that part. Going back.
And you think of this. I mean, this is a really effective thing. It's got almost 1 million views, 700,000, almost 800,000, and only about 75% approval. There is nothing that he's saying that's fucking crazy. Nothing. He did turn the comments off. You should have left them on. Show these people for who they are. That's one of the reasons I like free speech, because you know where they are. You know where they stand. Mm-hmm. There's a record. We have to stop hate speech online. No. Let people talk. You know where they stand. What's better, letting people talk or than pretending not to be racist when you really hate the other person? I've heard black guys say that back in the 90s. Like, I'd rather see somebody come out and say they don't like me so I know where I stand. I respect that. Mm-hmm. Because, like, I don't like you because the pigment of your skin. Like, all right, I don't need to be dealing with you. Goodbye.
Exactly.
I'm skipping around a little bit, trying to make sense, but we're getting there. If you guys want to look, the whole FBI census was posted recently, the new one, and it's interesting. I mean, check it out if you're interested.
I guess these are is 22,000. The next closest is the anti-gay, which is 8. In a country of 300 million people? Yeah. And almost a 10,000 difference. Look, I'm not a big, I don't believe anything come from the government these days. I'm not, but I mean, Jesus Christ, how much could the FBI mold that? I don't know. Maybe they could. Maybe it's a complete fucking lie, and Asians are on top of the list, and they're doing it for political. I don't know. Maybe they are. I don't put anything past these guys.
But yeah,
it's actually quite low. Even the Jewish stuff is quite low, 22,000. Considering the size of the country, but it's got to get a lot lower.
Mm-hmm. Got crime stats on USA. Telling people that anti-Semitism.
It's not so much. It's like 22,000 or 345 million people. Okay, yeah, that's low on the grand scheme of things. There's no doubt about it. It's something pointed out. I think we should take a little pride in this as Americans, that have a multicultural country, and it does seem to work. It has worked in the past, and it's only 22,000, but it's also 10,000 more than the next group. 12,000, 14,000 more. That's weird, man. Like, I didn't know that, but I just don't trust anybody in the government.
Doesn't matter.
That's me. That's my thing. You think I'm crazy because of that? Whatever.
Must be
telling you to feel that way.
Awesome and nice when literally you don't care. Do you think it's normal? So now the question.
Maybe the Jews fixed it to make themselves the biggest in the victims list.
goes to
There
like
we go. That's exactly it. You're right on it like a nail.
So first they said the tweet was fake about the pike, the killing Zionists with a pike. Okay, that's proven real. But then they say, well, he's not a Houthi pirate. He's just like a cool, awesome Yemenis kid who's kind of just like good kid, Mad City or whatever.
Hey, lyrics, thank you.
Kendrick reference.
You know what they should do to me? They should say, wow, Mr. Beast raid. I'd be like, wow, crazy. And then I'd be like, ah, fuck. Thank you, lyrics. I appreciate it. I haven't talked to you in a while. I love the video he made. Did you see he ended the lyrics video with the burning bow vaccine? Do you know how ironic that was to me?
Yeah, no.
That was crazy.
It was
to me.
fucking crazy.
I know he didn't do that on purpose. Maybe he did. I don't know, because he did mention me in the video. I know he didn't do that on purpose.
I think it was on. I think it was on purpose.
Be interesting to ask him. You know, either way, it's cool. But because to me, that's the first sign that Bobak's had a problem.
Exactly.
That was the first sign, and then I just got all tied up because you got offended because he burned. Oh, fucking, I care. It's not like he burned a flag. That would have bothered me. You know, but in the grand scheme of things, I mean, it's just cloth at the end of the fucking day. It's a fuck you, but it's a cloth. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Not now, Ethan. Do you think it's not? So I'd like to explore that accusation that he is not a Houthi. Okay, let's look at some of the evidence. Here he is with the AK and combat fatigues. Now, in poverty-stricken Yemen, do you think it's possible to get Yemeni? Thank you, Yemeni, not Yemenis. Do you think it's possible? Or do you think it's likely to get an AK or an automatic assault rifle in Yemen, poverty-stricken, if you're not affiliated with the Houthis? I mean, Houthis, guns are expensive as.
How much are guns? AK-47 price. I'm interested. $25,000 to $30,000. Yeah, $600. That sounds about right. It used to be on about $3,000. I'm just interested.
Fuck.
Depends where too. Yeah.
It's kind of.
Those guns are probably pretty rough shape though. That's the thing about the AK is you could fucking throw it in a river and pick it up and fire it. Whereas with even an M4 or an M16, you gotta keep that thing spick and span, man.
Surprising, dude. And I just continue, dude. There's so much evidence this dude is Jew-hating terrorist. Just say you support the Houthis. Stand on your shit. Again, I respect that. Just say you support the Houthis, which Hasan does, and we'll get to that.
Still go for American weaponry. I'll take it any day over an AK. It's got more stopping power, but it's nowhere near as accurate as a rifle.
But so here he is with a rifle, and again, okay, maybe he found that.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get a high-powered rifle in Yemen without being affiliated with the Houthis, living in Houthi territory. Maybe he found it. I don't know.
Maybe he got some donations from Hasan. He turned around. Hey, I got my own AK. Oh, congratulations.
Here he is on top of a boat.
He's a good-looking bastard. I'll give him that. No wonder Hasan found it. He's a big himbo himself.
Ship, we bombed a ship. This is him on a boat in the sea. That was.
Am I supposed to cry when this guy gets smoked? Because he's in that business. You know, the Joker said in the movie, like, nobody gives a shit when a bunch of soldiers get, nobody cares. What happened? Like, are we gonna have to go in the morning when this guy gets smoked? Because it's gonna happen one day. Somebody's gonna smoke him. Because that's what happens. I mean, for anybody. I mean, I'm just talking about like, even as, like, once you pick up a gun, you can get smoked.
Mm-hmm.
Commandeered by Houthis.
And I'll be honest with you, he's in a lot more dangerous position than most American soldiers. And Frank of the Sea.
Here he is. This is a translation that it wouldn't translate for me in the pictures, but feel free to do it. It says, ready to sacrifice, longing for martyrdom on top
longing for martyrdom? That's extreme.
Pirated vessel.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I heard that one of the Hamas guy got smoked. But there's a lot of virgins up in heaven that are very fucking busy these days.
Maybe he's talking about...
Come on, dead spiritual versions. You got to fuck that guy.
He's talking about something else. I don't know. Longing for martyrdom, ready for sacrifice. Who knows? Maybe he's talking about something else, you know? it's possible, right? Here he is singing a little ditty on TikTok that goes, "Do you threaten us with what we are waiting for, son of a Jew?"
He means Zionist.
Nice little ditty there. Once again, clearly making a healthy distinction between Jews and Israelis. But just because he
How old
told
are they? He's probably 18, 20 years old.
his son through a translator once
I'd say
that he
he's
doesn't.
How old is
Like maybe
versions?
late-
Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I think they're anywhere from 12 to 25.
hate Jews to Zionists. We're going to give him a pass. He's a good kid. And actually, we should prop him up. He's awesome.
Disgusting.
He's hot, by the way. Cute. Cute kid. So that's good. Yeah.
What happens after they're diversionized, like in the spiritual realm?
Maybe their hymen just goes back immediately. So they
Yeah,
get
yeah.
back
Oh,
to
that's
it.
yeah, bingo. You got it.
That's fucked up.
Woo!
I can't criticize religion. That's fucking crazy. And by the way, Christians believe just as fucking crazy shit.
And now
They believe in a virgin birth, all right? But it's pretty fucking crazy. Yeah.
I'm giving myself a note to look at number 12. One moment. Here he is. Now here, this is from a story. This is from the interview Hasan did with him.
What are Keaton
At the
thinks of
time,
this?
I have to admit, this interview blew my mind.
Oh no!
I thought that this would be a bridge too far, and that Twitch would step in
No.
and do
Not
something.
getting
He's interviewing a terrorist,
He's-
and
he's
it's not
invading
that
the
he's interviewing a
cause.
terrorist, because I've
I'm
seen
not
Hasan try to
putting him
deflect
in.
to saying, "Oh, CNN reached me, BBC reached me. They want to talk to him.
He's also
Therefore, it's
talking
real
in
journalism."
chat. So.
Do you have a
Good
clip?
for
Hasan
him.
did not ask him one critical
you.
question. In fact, the opposite. It was a complete
The Jews do that. Yeah, I know.
puff piece where he
Exactly. Wow, I forgot.
Jewy Jew.
Jew, yeah.
sucked him off, elevated him.
At this point, I really hate that word. I've said it before. And it's safe for expedience, but it sounds like a slur, and it's not. I understand it isn't,
Mhm.
but it does sound like a slur, and you could really say it like a slur.
Uncritical, and even in the
yeah.
moments of absolutely
spent much time with-
insane statements like this, he essentially covers for him and acts like ignorant.
Chinese people.
Yeah, when
But
that guy gets smoked, and they put on a fucking funeral for him on Twitch, like Jeff Bezos, you not gonna do nothing?
one of the captain was Chinese, and he did qat with them, and he danced some music with them, and he was vibing. So he likes them. Yeah.
So what? I mean, what?
Yes, he just admitted to being a terrorist who's hanging out with hostages. That's literally just what happened, and his son knows it. That's why he's laughing not and trying to deflect.
That's so crazy.
Yes, it
So
is.
they're just chilling with the
But
captain.
you still like him. You still like him. You don't hate him. All right.
It's like I don't understand.
You
So
don't
Amer-
understand? Why would? Do you think anyone would just get access to hang out with like these hostages? Why would he be hanging out with hostages? I don't know. But Hasan does a good way of deflecting it and being like, "Oh no, this is just funny, silly stuff." You know what I mean? Awesome. Moving on to the next part. Here's more terrorcore tweets, I like to call them, from our friend Cute Luffy in IRL. There's a couple more for you guys to enjoy. This one is whatever. This one is the ships we bombed and sank. Okay, not him, because he's not a Houthi, but apparently they bombed and sank stuff. To every Zionist, I will put this into your stomach. It's him once again with a
Well, he's not holding the gun very correctly.
assault rifle. Looks like an AK.
That's not it's some kind of AK. It's not the right way to clean it. I've never cleaned an AK, but I don't think that's the right way.
AK-47. So that's the second death threat he's made against Zionists, and of course,
I saw this horrible video years ago. I think it was in Palestine. And this guy accidentally, he dropped a grenade down his shorts and blew himself up. And it was one of the most horrible things I'd ever seen. And this woman comes across the street and starts kicking him. And he's still
My God.
He did
What
the job,
the
and
fuck?
he got caught up in his gear. This woman came up and started kicking him. You saw that one too? I saw it years ago, like 20 years ago. I saw it. Before 9/11, I think, yeah.
as we know that he
was
loves
on
the
Live Leak.
song,
I think
Son of a
that might have
Jew,
been before Live
we will
Leak, I don't
kill
remember.
you. there's a healthy distinction here between Zionists and Jews, and therefore, why should I care at all that Hasan is propping up a dude who's threatening to kill Zionists, who clearly has no healthy distinction between the two?
Well, he is a fucking terrorist. Look, I'm gonna surprise you guys. All right, and I've never been in combat, but they don't have soldiers don't have healthy distinctions. Warriors don't have healthy distinctions. Here's their distinction: are they dead? That's it. I don't like. I mean, what do you think goes on in those areas? You think I was thinking sanely when I was in Iraq? No, I wasn't. Although I was around a lot of Muslims that were helping us and stuff like that. So I mean, I wasn't like, oh, they're all evil. But when they occasionally lobbed a few mortars, and I heard the helicopters go up, and I'm like, good. I hope they're getting smoked.
And he continues to blur the lines between people who say Zionists and people who mean like
there is no blurring.
People who
There's
aren't
no
fucking,
difference.
Like genocide,
I don't understand how he cannot come to that conclusion.
To rampant, blatant, open
anti-Semitism
of the guys using the slur Zionist.
I thought I do think all this is sincere, and I think he's every right to do it, and I'm glad he did. But I still don't understand him whatsoever. I don't know what it's going to take. Is it going to take a terrorist attack on your businesses? Is it going to take a dead family member? What's it going to take?
Yeah,
which has no fucking...
What's it going to take? What else do you need to know? That this guy's no fucking good. You have made the distinction that not every Arab is a complete piece of shit. You have made the distinction that there are legitimate criticisms to Israel. You have made the distinction. You've done all that. He does none of it. Yet you still hold out some kind of hope. But what? Jeremy's no fucking good. Like the right? MAGA? Does it even compare?
Meaning, no definition. Because
Tommy, yeah, I see you, and this is not the show for you, Keaton.
It's so broad, it's so nebulous, it means nothing.
And I know Verse just said, yes, it is.
It can be employed
of course.
1,000 different ways, 1,000 different people, and people use it just as a matter of fact. Like everybody knows what it means. People started calling Bernie Sanders and AOC Zionists. I forget why, but they did something that everyone perceived as being pro-Israel or something, and now they're Zionists. And
AOC dances the line. She's a politician, of course.
It's like, well, I know AOC's not a Zionist. You know what I mean? But according to him, we need to kill her. When you put her on a spike, we need to put AOC on a spike, kill her, shoot her with a gun. That's what Hasan thinks is not a problem.
Homestuck syndrome.
Moving on. So I don't know. Is he affiliated with the Houthis? I mean, listen.
He's got a bunch of pictures of Stern. Do it for him. That's interesting.
At this point,
I kind of like Stern because he was like he's a working class hero. He's not no more. He hates the working class, it seems. He hates regular people. Maybe Ethan's not that far gone.
I believe that it's impossible to deny. I do. I think it's impossible to deny that this kid is affiliated, deeply involved with the Houthis. He's on ships. He's blowing up.
Can you imagine if they had this much proof that Asmongold was dealing with a right-wing terrorist? As much as we saw, now just let's flip the script a little bit. And Ethan had made this on Asmongold. And he has like some David Duke apprentice or some fucking shit. Like, I don't know, maybe put it in there. I can't think of it because there's not that much, extreme right-wing terrorism that even comes close to Islamic terrorism. It does exist. Can you imagine they had this much clear-cut proof? Instead of a ship we bombed, this is a synagogue. This is what's the Islamic church? I can't remember.
Mosque. Yeah.
If they had this fucking much evidence that Asmongold promoted a right-wing terrorist,
up ships. He's hanging out with hostages. He's walking around with guns, combat fatigues.
You said, who was the guy that got caught by the Afghans? I met him when I was with Dankula in Scotland last year. Oh, it's been a year, since I've been there.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the MLS playoffs started out this week. Yeah, Lord Miles. Yeah, I met him.
Oh yeah.
You know what he told me? Once they realized that he was a moron, and by that's Dankula's words, not mine, right? Because I actually really liked Lord Miles, and I love the way he interacted with Tommy, and the way they played and stuff like that. I thought he's a really great guy. I still think I was a little uncomfortable because of all the crazy shit I said about him, but he seemed like nothing much. Yeah, Lord Miles, I don't think much bothers Lord Miles. But you know what he told me he was doing? Because they were hanging out with him. They were watching the Barbie movie together. I got the feeling the guys.
Oh, that's great.
I think a lot of those Afghan guys aren't necessarily Islamic. I'm sure that by our standards they are. I think a lot of them are just gangsters.
Do you have a clip of that?
And gangsters. Stern, I kind of like Stern, hardworking class. What do you say? And you kind of like what? I can't see it.
I kind of like Stern because he's a working class hero, and Hasan likes that kid because he's a working class Houthi. There are common grounds to be had.
I suppose.
There's enough evidence, all right, to at least be like, hey, you know what? Let's not fucking spike Zionists, okay? But no, his fans, here's what they do. They first call me a liar that the tweet's not real. Then, once the tweet's real, they say he's not a Houthi. So, also you're lying. There's no point to which reality catches up with
It doesn't matter how he self-identifies. He's openly talking about committing terrorist actions.
These people. There's no point
He's in
which
he's in the war.
Me presenting facts.
You watched Titanic, and how they cried.
Me?
I believe
Yeah.
that. He told me directly it was the Barbie movie. That's what he told me. That was to my face and my family's face. He told me that. Lord Miles.
Disputable facts will change their mind that whatever
is Lord Miles as crazy as he seems. He seems very, I don't want to say flaky, like he'd flake out on you, but he's very, hi, how are you? Like nothing bothers him. That's what he didn't seem very crazy at all. He seemed good-natured, but a little of that sort of like, a little flighty, not flaky, flighty. Yeah.
they're obsessed with is real.
Little aloof. Yeah. Little aloof. But like, there's something very warm about him too. And you also told me about there was probably SAS guys that got captured with him, and this is this is an exact quote from Dankula. And I said, "How come you didn't get?" And I was like, "What happened to them?" And he's like, "Well, they got the car. They got the car battery." And I'm like, "How did he not get the car battery? Because he's a fucking idiot." And he laughed. Like Lord Miles laughed when he said that.
And that me, a Zionist, is lying.
Oh, you're Jewish.
That's the beginning, and that's the end. Maybe, and then I see people. The next part of the argument is this. So, you're lying. It's not a real tweet. Okay, it's a real tweet. Well, he's not a Houthi. You're lying about that. Okay, fine. He might be affiliated with Houthis, but Houthis are actually awesome. I've seen Hasan say that a lot, and I'll show it to you as I move on. Houthis are awesome. I've even heard people, the likes of Norm Finkelstein, saying that they should be nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize, the Houthis.
That's when I was done, Norm Finkelstein. He's a self-hating, crazy fucking Jewish guy. That's when I was done with Jimmy Dore, the Irish-Polish guy from Chicago. That's when I was done. When he put him on, I was like, done. And I only unfollowed him. I actually... I can't get notifications from it. The only time I ever see him, he's on somebody else's show that I want. That's when I was that was the moment. I'm like, as soon as I saw Norm Finkelstein.
And Hasan very much is a fan of the Houthis, which I'll show. Let's start with the Houthi flag. Here is their official flag of the Houthi terrorist organization.
I think we get the point, don't we? An hour and a half of this shit.
Yeah.
You want to switch gears? Do some gaming? More reaction? I want to keep going. You want to do the, let's do a Carl Jobst video. God bless Carl Jobst, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Hope he beats Billy Mitchell. One of his incredibly high in agreeableness, but also with a very low impulse control. Thank you, Dr. Peterson, Tyrone Peterson.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But I hope he Allah Akbar, God is great, death to Jews, curse of Jews, victory Islam. Yeah, sure, that's right. I'm really rooting against Israel here. Sure, whatever. I hope
Flip
Israel
that now.
wins. Let me make this my opinion abundantly clear. I'm not about to go Asmongold here. I hope Israel wins the war with as little civilian casualties as humanly possible. And I sincerely mean that from the bottom of my heart. And you know what I think? I think Ethan Klein feels the exact same way I do, as most normal people do. When you cross the edge of normal, it's when I don't know, somebody's at a Biden political rally and some right-wing maniac goes and shoots and kills a civilian, and you celebrate it, or you act like you don't give, like there's nothing wrong with it, or why should I have to, because they're in the same as a Houthi, I suppose, or a Nazi. That's when it crosses the line. There you go. The dumbest speed run ever. You ready for this? Let's switch gears.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Legends. In June of...
Hello, legends.
Hello, you absolute legends. In June of 2022, a speedrunner by the name of Epic Seastar did something incredible. He joined the Jump King speedrunning community and proceeded to achieve world records on two of the most popular and competitive custom maps, Babe of the Realms and Babe of Ascension. These world records were really good. In fact, one of them still remains the world record to this very day. Epic Seastar got really good really quickly, and while it is unusual for a new player to attain world records so fast, he claimed that he had been playing for a while, he just hadn't joined until then. Epic Seastar's rate of progress was suspicious, but the proof that he provided for his runs was extremely thorough. He had the in-game timer showing, he had an input display, and he even had a webcam of himself playing. Cheating with a webcam is one of the rarest forms of cheating because what it means is that you have to sit there and pretend to play.
Somebody figured it out.
You have to pretend that you're trying hard. You have to pretend that you're nervous. And then at the
he is really good at it. I see his eyes move back. I couldn't do that.
end, you have to pretend that you're so happy because you just did something.
Should I make it like a Vegas speedrun, see if I get Carl Jobs or something? Like, I'll take some other famous speedrun version. I'll do what should I do? I'll do a GoldenEye or something. I'll just try to act as good as possible. I didn't! I worked so hard!
Oh my god. No, that looks retarded.
Yeah, it'd be funny. See if I get it.
It would be.
I would love to make a video of me what a piece of shit I was because I cheated at Jumpman.
Something amazing. You need to behave like you've just done something better than anyone else had ever done before. And in June of 2022, that's exactly what Epic Seastar did. He created fake speedruns and then pretended to play. And for the next 2 years, his
he
fake
is really good at pretending to play. This is the best acting I've seen from the UFC. The black guy with UFC. That guy was fantastic.
Oh my god.
Can you find that one for me? That's my favorite one. Can you find that? The UFC pretended he's played a video game on Twitch. That is the greatest.
Records went undetected.
Sniper Wolf. Exactly right.
That is until September 2024, when they were discovered completely by accident. As we will see, Epic Seastar went to a lot of effort to fake these records. He put in tons of work. But what's funny is that while he spent so
Why not get laid? Oh my god.
Much time and effort making his runs look good, he neglected to do.
Do you? Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad we went on. We did another stream that I didn't push out. This guy is almost as cool as this guy right here. I respect the talent. This guy right here. This is.
Never see him.
I blocked it. Come on now. Stop it.
We got a green screen.
Pop to the body again. Aldo with his mouth wide open now.
Come on.
So what happened was Max Holloway lured him.
I got 2 minutes left. It was the greatest troll ever.
the most
That was
basic.
Lou. I'm sure that was absolutely worth losing his channel over. If I could think of anything that fucking cool, I'd have done it. But I'm not that good. Teddy, I respect this guy's talent. Yeah, this guy,
checks any cheater should do in this game, and some of these simple mistakes he made just boggle the mind with their stupidity. After the first discrepancy was found,
so far I'm convinced. I don't know how you can call this guy.
It was an avalanche. As it turns out, there are so many things wrong with these fakes, it is simply amazing.
Really?
So sit back and relax as we dissect some of the greatest fake speedruns I've ever seen. I really hope you enjoy.
I would enjoy if you won that loss.
Now, Legends, this video is sponsored by the military online game War Thunder.
Yeah, alright, we don't see that. Go buy War Thunder for, I don't know. Because...
No, too far. Go
I
now.
got it. I'm
times
good. I know
were
what I'm
posted.
doing.
Of the more than 5,000 speedruns submitted, around 60 had times that were invalid. Most
this
of
game looks like it sucks, by the way.
these impossible times were simply typos. For example, in this run, you can see that the time on the ranks
I'm sure it'd be terrible. I'm not saying it's hard, not hard, but it looks lame.
ends in 928, but on the end screen of the
It's not cool unless it's a game you know. It's like Castlevania or something like that. It's not cool. I'm sorry.
run itself, it ends in 678.
It's
So
a
this
hard
is
platformer, yeah, but can a hard platformer like have some life to it? You know what I mean?
just an input error. Other runs didn't have any videos at all to check, but again, they are likely typos. However, there was one run that came back that actually did show an end screen that had an impossible time. This was the world record for the custom map Babe of the Realms, achieved on June 4, 2022 by Epic Seastar. What's
fucking cheating Dutchman.
Funny is that Rifle immediately thought this run was still probably legitimate because, as he said, it had facecam, mic, and keyboard inputs. It is very, very rare to see someone try and fake a speedrun like this, but boy oh boy, no one could have predicted just how deep this rabbit hole was about to go. Several hours after this invalid end screen time was brought up, it was identified the time on the end screen was also missing a digit. There is supposed to be a 0 here before the 7. It became apparent that this end screen was photoshopped, which also explains the invalid time. The next day, Rifle went through the entire run and counted the amount of jumps, because the jump count is displayed at the end. And what he found is that the jump count at the end was off by 40 jumps. It stated 403, but the run only had around 360. So what we can discern from these errors is that Epic Seastar just guessed the amount of jumps, and he also just guessed the final time, not knowing that it's impossible to
also fucking moron. The record guys or this guy.
produce in normal play.
He's cheating. What's your problem?
And then he quickly photoshopped the end screen and forgot to add a 0. This seems like a pretty low effort fake, right? I mean, obviously he didn't seem to care or put much.
This should be a criticism on the record takers. Reporters tell me you should do this instead of fake gameplay. Yeah, I should.
But you should put your reaction to an older drama, but put it into a current drama. Fake a whole shot from the point episode.
Did we talk about doing that back with Dr. Zhivago and me thought about doing that? But we thought at the time there wasn't enough, there was too much time. Yeah, like doing it, get Jeff on there, do an entire episode bitching about Great Andere or something like that. Like the Oreos version of After Hours. Yeah, maybe.
Effort in. Well, this is where things get shocking. Because remember, the actual run itself had a timer, an input display, and webcam. No matter how this was faked, he had to have put a lot of effort in to make all of those things seem legit at first glance. The first weird thing that was noticed about one of the runs was the fact that the screen seemed to shake for too long during shakes. This screen shaking is a purely aesthetic effect. It doesn't change
This guy put this much work into fucking playing the game. He might have got the record.
the gameplay, and the screen is coded to shake somewhere between.
Was it not Jeff's react to football? Yes, that is a good idea. But the problem is they'll probably clip on this.
1.5 to 3 seconds, but the main category world record holder Trimp noticed that the screen shook for longer. In fact, in this section here, there were 2 shakes back to back that lasted 4 seconds. This is not possible under normal conditions. The only explanation for this is that there are splices in the gameplay.
How can this game use Nintendo assets.
Splicers are the most logical way to cheat this game if you're a terrible player. Take me for example. I've barely played Jump King, but if I use save states, I can use video editing to make it seem like I'm a decent player. The method I would use is to repeat a jump until you land in a decent spot, then save the state, then repeat. I remove the footage from when I land to when I start my jump, so it looks like I jumped immediately. In the case of the shaking screen, Epic C-Star would have landed during a shake when he wanted to save a state. Then, either intentionally or unintentionally, the next jump that he was happy with and used in the fake run also began.
Billy Mitchell says this guy's getting a raw deal.
And when the level was shaking. So when he removed the footage in between, the shaking went on for longer than it should have. This essentially confirms that splicers were used, and the fact that these extra long shakes happened back to back indicate that multiple splicers were done in a short amount of time. So it seems like we are dealing with a player who lacks the ability to string together longer jumping sequences. And in fact, I can tell that Epic C-Star is probably using save states for a massive percentage of these jumps. And I can tell that because he almost never buffers his jumps. When you watch top level players, they always hold the jump button before they land. It could be several frames before or longer, but it's always before. This is so they start charging their next jump immediately when they land, and don't lose any unnecessary frames doing nothing. However, Epic C-Star doesn't do this. He almost always lands and then presses jump, usually framed perfectly after landing. This is because he doesn't want to start charging his jump right away because he wants to save his state first. Therefore, he won't hold jump before he lands.
As long as there are video games, there will be cheaters. I don't know why people want world records this bad. Well, thank God for Apollo Legend and Carl Chopes. I mean, if for some reason Carl loses this and he has to retire or something, get a regular fucking job, I mean, it'd be devastating community. Because Carl takes on all cheating comers, and there really is. There's got to be a guy that does this, and we used to have two guys, now we have one. Ugh.
But when he edits out the footage
for the glory and integrity of esports,
it will just look like he perfectly pressed jump after he landed, which is impossible for a player to consistently do. This isn't how good players play, and the fact that he almost never buffers his next jump, even when there is absolutely no reason not to, indicates there are tons of splicers throughout this entire run. Splicing does create problems with the audio though. First, you can't play with music. That would just immediately give away any splice. So
yeah, but see, that should be, I don't know why that isn't a rule after the Billy Mitchell King Kong Fistful of Quarters. Audio should be absolutely, in order to make a submission, you must submit the audio as well.
That's why Epic C-Star turned off his music. But it would also cause issues with the sound effects as well, because when you land, it makes a noise.
Going back to Billy Mitchell, one of the records that was submitted right after Steve Wiebe, as they say in German, Wiebe, submitted his record, and then Billy pulled out this tape, is the original versions of MAME did not, you have to put a sample in there of the jump for Mario or Jumpman if you want to point it. So what basically happens is you have to put a WAV file. So MAME knows to play the WAV file because MAME, the emulator at the time, couldn't do it without a sample. They couldn't just emulate the sound effect for whatever fucking reason. I've said that before. If I could put actually a version of Mario that's running, basically that cabinet's running on MAME, the MVS. And if I push jump, there's no sound because it's an older version of MAME.
Noise. So my spliced footage from before sounded weird. If I didn't fix the audio, it sounded like this.
Sounds normal to me. Oh, I heard that. I know what that is. I know what that sounds like.
In order to fix this, I would have to make sure to extend the audio slightly after each splice from the first clip to include that sound effect.
That's why he knows how to cheat too, and that's the best way to catch these guys.
And given this run had so many splicers, that's a lot of work. And then we have to figure out the issue of the timer. If we are splicing, we can't use a real timer. That would make it super obvious. So therefore, the timer in his runs must be fake. But it looks really good. I mean, his timer is literally perfect. It's indistinguishable from the real thing. The likely way he achieved this was by running the timer on a different map that has a black background, like this one here. Then chroma keying out the black background using whatever video production software he was using, and then overlaying that that on top of his run.
What?
This one was pretty simple. We also know the timer was added in
Why not just like get good at the game, be a part of the community? That sounds like way more fun, you know?
post-production, because in those shaking sections I mentioned before, the timer is supposed to shake as well. But in his runs, the timer remained perfectly still. Another way that was used to detect splices was the rain. The rain...
You know what it is? You don't get any respect from people if you're not good, and then they ignore you. You know, there's not a lot of room for, what's your timing on, Joe, man? I get the fuck out of here. It's like a fucking Mensa meeting. Hi, I'm Joe
God.
Hamilton. I'm 152. 152.
is supposed to change every 5 frames, but here it changes in a single frame because there was a splice. The wind can also be used in the same way. The wind produces specific patterns in the...
All right, I want to see what happened at the end. I always like when these guys get busted. I don't give a fuck about any of that shit. All right, let's go back.
multiple audio tracks. I'm guessing this is because he wanted to make sure his keyboard presses lined up properly with his in-game actions, which would have been much harder to do all in one take. This shows that he really did care about making these runs as believable as possible. Speaking of keyboard, he types after his Babe of Ascension run, but what's funny about this is that the input display doesn't register any spacebar hits.
Fuck, I gotta search that out.
Oh yeah, it's spacebar. What's his favorite?
Oh my
god. So this is just another silly little mistake he didn't consider. Now let's get to the best part, his fake reactions. Whenever you have a fake speedrun with a live reaction, you know you're in for a treat. And I have to be honest, I'm impressed. This is, dare I say it, an Oscar-worthy performance.
Yes, it really is. You gotta give him credit.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. Oh my god.
You know what I would actually do? I would actually, if I was gonna fake this, I would watch other world records and just like imitate one of them or a combination of the three.
Let's go, dude.
Let's go!
Let's fucking go, dude. Oh my god.
What an asshole.
Oh. Call it luck. I call it skill. Just kidding.
What a jackass.
I love that last quote. Personally, I would never be able to think of something that cool to say after a world record. His second reaction was even better, but I must warn you, if you're in public, do not play this out loud.
Oh. Oh my fucking god. Oh, I'm fucking shaking right now.
It sounds like he's banging or jerking off.
Yeah, I would say
yes. 354 milliseconds. Oh, I beat him. I fucking beat him. Wait. I gotta pull up something. Real quick.
That's a good movie.
Here it is. There it is. Let's go.
No, I don't want to get. Yeah, I don't want to get clipped on that. Sorry. That's the Beach Boys. That's 1, 2. That's 3 seconds. That should be good.
Area names, including the fade in and fade out, he added an input display and even webcammed himself pretending to play with a fake reaction and even a dance number at the end, and after all of that effort, he uploads his run and forgets to put a 0 in front of his time. And he doesn't even bother counting the jumps or making sure the
we're good.
end time is even possible, which is how this was
muted. All right, let me see his dance routine. Inside, outside USA. Inside, outside USA. You happy, you fuckers?
But at the same time, Epic Sea Star might be a genius. Is this just high IQ performance art? I have no idea what this is supposed to be, but either way, it's amazing. This is simultaneously the best and worst fake speedrun I've ever seen. This may even top Butterbun.
Yeah, this
and
guy
if
was
Epic
my
Sea
favorite.
Star
That guy
took a
was good
single
too.
bite or sip of anything, it wouldn't even be close. But I will let you guys let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, you legends. I hope you're
I
having...
want to know what happened to them. Did he come clean? What's this guy's name? I want to know what happened to this guy.
a
It was
fantastic
Epic
day.
or something.
I don't know
Hold
what
on.
the fucking name is. It's theater. It's funny. Funny. Probably just got banned. Yeah. But don't they like? I like when they put up a fight. That's my personal favorite. You know, I love when they put up a fight. That's fun. That's funny to me. All right, let's go to another topic.
Yes.
We'll close out after this.
All right, we got to talk about this crazy story where this teacher allegedly left claw marks on a teen's back after sex, and other students were lookouts while this happened. And the New York
It's a good friend.
Post says she got a sweetheart deal. Let's check it out.
By the way, this guy, what the fuck, Nate the lawyer, excellent, good stuff, very, very neutral.
An now fired Missouri math teacher who admitted to having sex with a student while others served as lookouts.
We were talking about this before. I get like the chicks like that, like older guys. Like I could get my head around that. Even fat guys, maybe there's some kind of like, I don't know. I mean, we all are attracted to things. I don't understand young women, late 20s, early 30s, but they always happen to be, banging a 16-year-old boy. I don't get that. It seems to go against everything I understand about women's sexuality or heterosexuality. It makes no sense. Oh, I understand him, Optimus. That's not hard. That's not hard for me to get. Yeah, I can get around that. I don't understand why they want to bang a 16-year-old boy. I don't get that. Was he older looking? Was he 16-year-old look like he was like 39?
He was already balding,
Yeah.
Looks like he already had a mortgage.
It's a coming of age thing. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. It's a going to prison thing.
May only have to spend 3 months behind bars if she goes through sex rehab. That seems like a pretty sweetheart deal.
See, that's what you said to me privately offline. You think this is pure, but that doesn't make any sense to me. That this is I mean, I guess I could. Well, she's a whore. I suppose I could go that route. Like, you think it's like sexual frustration in their own relationships? That was your guess, correct?
It could be. That's one way of thinking about it. It could be also like, kind of the sexual frustration, but also trying to look for a new avenue.
Like a fetish?
Like, oh, this is taboo.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go so far as saying that, of like, oh, it's like somebody,
because it's
not
not so taboo. Like if a guy were to do this, then he's like an animal.
Yeah.
He's an animal. She's just like a weirdo, right? The crime is the same, and I'm sure women get less time. The crime's the same, but I mean, the stigma is very different from male to female.
Oh yeah.
To me.
100%.
Now, Haley is a divorced mom of 2.
Ooh.
Is that her husband?
I can see why she did now, if that is.
Come on, he's in the army. Look at him. What's the matter with that? I had to wear that beret too. He's around.
No, but it's just it's his face.
He's not a good looking guy. Yeah, but maybe he's a big dick. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't.
Yeah, but well, clearly not big enough.
And was recently sentenced to 4 years.
You're fucking awful, by the way. You're mean.
Years in prison.
Well,
but here's the kicker.
Everybody's on my side in my defense.
Teacher left.
That sentence would be suspended if she completes rehabilitation program for sex offenders.
Do guys get this? Do guys get the rehabilitation programs when they being 16-year-old boys? I bet they don't.
No.
The circuit court judge said that he would check up on her progress in rehab in 3 months.
So how many dicks have you had? Where is this? I don't understand.
And release the disgraced teacher on probation if she has done well. Now, generally, when people are caught having inappropriate relationships with minors, they get more time than just a couple of months behind bars. Now, the sweetheart deal was reached in September, where she pleaded guilty to sexual contact with a student, allowing her to avoid the more serious initial charges, including statutory blank, child molestation.
This is a perfect example why guys do more time than women. This is just like one of those things. You know, I don't necessarily have a problem with it because I doubt that kid's ruined for life. And get this, you know, Jeannie, men and women are different. I think this could have been a 16-year-old girl a lot worse than it could have been a 16-year-old boy. But that being said, it just shows that we don't put, you know, we don't, if the roles are reversed, we have very different sentences for very different types of people. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the kid was more likely back into his buddy. That's why I can't get up. Jeff, that's why I can't get like all up in arms about this shit. I know like some of these red-pilled fucking male jerk-offs think I should or I'm a pedophile, but I don't. I don't care. I told everybody I was sleeping with my fucking boss when I was 16. She's 21. I mean, it wasn't extreme age difference as this, but, you know, I don't want to go to jail and I wasn't victimized. You know.
Child endangerment. Okay, so now we know the outcome, but what are the facts of this case? What happened? How could they be okay with giving her such a sweetheart deal? Well, here are the facts from local news.
A teacher accused of having a relationship with a student has been arrested in Texas near San Antonio. Haley
got me booze too, by the way. Good, nice lady.
Clifton Carmack worked at Lakeway High School in.
My God, she's got the fucking things on it everywhere. Clifton Carmack. You should have known right away not to marry her. She didn't take your fucking name.
Pulaski County. She's now charged with having.
I gotta be honest with you. Unless the girl has, like, the father died or is young or he didn't have, I would never marry a woman that would not take my name unless she comes from a family of all girls. Then I might look the other way. I don't think I'd do that. Would I do? Of course. I'm a fucking sick fuck. I'm a degenerate. I love women. Love them. I'm terrible. I'm awful. If I was single, look the fuck out. Well, not anymore because I'm fat and old, but god damn. Of course I would. I'm a fucking straight male.
Wow, we were.
No one has ever asked me. I've never turned. No, that's not true. I've never turned an attractive woman down for sex that wasn't my wife.
I think we need to hear that other story.
Yeah. What other story? What are you talking about?
That you turning somebody down.
I made a power move. Don't do this. I made a power move to my I have a few ex-girlfriends and ex-wife to show some kind of fucking macho bullshit that you can't control me through sex. As Jordan Peterson says, if you like a behavior, don't discourage somebody from it. It caused nothing but problems. Don't do it. So, unless I'm injured, and if my wives, you got to see the side profile before you decide. All right, first I'll give it a chance. Don't do that. I recommend it. If you like a behavior, don't try to be tough. So I did turn down just to kind of show that you can't control me. If a girl that you're in love with wants you to bang her, bang her. It was stupid. Very, very stupid. And I did it with my ex-wife, and I've done it with a few other serious relationships I was in. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I can't explain it, but I have not done it in this current marriage. Not once.
Having sex with a student in early December.
I do it when I'm not in the mood.
School resource officer reported.
You really showed her, Tommy. Yeah. I lost my kid. Yeah.
A witness came forward saying the teacher and the 16-year-old student were in a relationship. Investigators then went to the high school and took Clifton Carmack's phone. The superintendent for the
based in Sigma. Yeah, and then I paid for it too because I lost the relationship and I didn't get laid for a few months. How about that? I'm a winner.
District told KY3 she hadn't been at the school since December and did not expect her to return. God. Another man, Mark Creighton, is also charged in this case because detectives say he knew about this relationship and did not report it.
Now, at the end of that, you heard someone else was arrested because they knew about the relationship and didn't report it. Well, that happened to be the teen's father. The father of the high school.
Good boy, son. Bang, good. You're a real man. High five.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think I got the voice right.
Student who was in this relationship with the teacher knew about the relationship and said it was okay.
All right, folks, take a look at Mark Creighton. Take a look at him. This is
The guy always going to pay. He had nothing to do with it. He's going to pay now, too. All right, here's what I would have done. You're going to stop seeing her immediately, right? But I'm not going. I'm not turning my. I probably wouldn't turn her in. I might go up to her and say, "You do this again, I'm going to the police." Just stop it right there. And if she did it again, I go to the police. That would be my move. But let's see what Dad did.
a father, okay? He's been charged with permitting or allowing or doing...
What's the law he broke? I'm just interested. I'm not saying that he didn't break a law. I'm just interested. What's the name of the law?
Nothing when he found out that his 16-year-old son was being sexually abused.
He did a backflip and a high five at the same time.
By his
teacher. What he got charged with.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. My dad banged
teacher. Now, those are the charges. The 16-year-old might say something else was happening, might not consider himself a victim necessarily. I don't.
You think?
I don't know. But this father permitted it to go on, according to investigators, and they now have charged him, and he has been charged. First-degree child endangerment. That's what
I would be secretly proud of him, but I know I have to do my duty as a father to end this fucking relationship. Like, I'd be like, Tommy, you're out of line. I'm going to talk to your teacher. We're going to keep this fucking quiet, and if you ever go near her again, you're going to put her in jail. And then as soon as he walked away, it's like, wow, man, fucking my son's a fucking beast, man. Damn!
makes this teacher-student case even more different.
Well, the father is living vicariously through his son. You know, he's looking at this teacher and thinking, I mean, the father's 36, the teacher's 26,
She's probably
the
right.
son's 16.
6,
and
26.
I think that the father's just living vicariously.
No hot chicks should be allowed to be a teacher until after they're 30. How about that?
It's okay, you know, thinking that it's cool, kind of like the kids who are going high five. This is going to be very confusing. It is confusing already, and it's going to get worse for the victim because on the one
victim, sounds like he's victimizing everybody that loves him.
hand, you know, he's gotten this approval from his father, and all the kids think he's cool.
I think he's
you know,
cool.
that's the teachers need to understand that, you know, if you're going to have sex with a kid and a teenager, you need to expect that they're going to brag to their friends.
Now, I know some of you heard.
Yeah, Ahsoka, we know. Believe me, we know.
That and probably were shocked, like, oh my God, the parent knew. And on top of that, he said it was okay. Well, this also happened in Texas. He
explains everything.
It all makes sense now.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Here's a case from Houston in which essentially there's the same exact facts. And the parents okayed the relationship between teacher and student.
There's another reason I'd stop this. I'm not going to jail for your pussy. Fuck that.
Prosecutors say 24-year-old Alexandria Vera, a teacher at Stovall Middle School, not only engaged in a sexual relationship with one of her 13-year-old students.
That's gross.
Well, no, it gets worse. Look at that headline.
Yeah, I've heard it. This happened back in the Disney, too. There was the first time I told you about this. Helen Hunt was in a movie. The first time I ever heard this around night. This happened in '89. I think I saw the movie 1991. It was a made-to-TV movie. It was about this young teacher who was she was like a heavy metal chick, right? And her husband was too. And I guess he cut his hair and became a normal fucking person and brought money in, bought a nice house, the whole nine. And she got sexually frustrated when he wasn't ripped jeans and hanging out and really good at Pac-Man anymore. You know, when listening to Judas Priest or whatever, right? Well, she was in like the AV club in school. She was the head of it, and she started banging some 16-year-old boy. But this is a little different because I didn't think this was sexual. This is manipulation. She talked this guy and his friends into knocking off, and they succeeded her husband. Helen Hunt did a movie about it, right? So that was the first time I heard it, but I didn't think of a fetish thing. I figure I'm using sex to manipulate to get my husband killed. That's what I thought. A couple years later, I heard about a teacher with a 13-year-old boy that got her pregnant. She was like almost 30, right? And then when they found out she got arrested, she snuck in and got pregnant again. She snuck in.
Yeah.
Snuck in again. So this is like a repeat of that. And then it's all the time. And it's never a fat pig. It's always a decent looking broad, you know?
The mother of one also got pregnant by the 8th grader. But in court documents, Vera says the student's parents knew about the relationship and they approved of
Thank
it,
God the Diamondbacks beat the Astros.
allowing the teen to spend the night at Vera's home in spring where they would engage in sex on a regular basis. She told an investigator she would drop him off at home in the morning so he could catch the bus to school.
You know, me and my boss used to though. There was a day of the week where I worked nights and my parents didn't get home till 5. So I had from we got a 2. I had from a 2 to 5 to go to work. And I'd sneak into the house that way. Yeah. That kid was over the moon. Yeah. He's like, I'm banging my teeth. You know, also, I kept my mouth shut. I didn't tell my friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but the other thing too, I had sex before, with somebody my age, so I guess it wasn't as big a deal, and I only did it 2 or 3 times. Wasn't that hot?
The relationship.
Wasn't good looking at this broad. We wore condoms too.
Allegedly lasted for 4 months, ending in January with a pregnancy that Vera terminated.
Now, I also think it's important to note that in this Texas case, this teacher got 10 years behind bars.
Friday morning, Judge Michael McSpadden formally sentenced the former Aldine ISD middle school teacher to 10 years.
You know what's the best? I don't know if I should say this because a relative of hers was a teacher in my school, and I think somebody could look. He could be dead, and I hated him. And he yelled at me once, and I almost turned around and I told him, I fucked your niece, right? I almost came this close. So glad I didn't.
It's behind bars.
I fucking hated this guy.
Normally on cases like this, they get 3 life sentences. So if I was Alex, I'd be counting my blessings.
The only witness to take the stand was a clinical psychologist. She said Vera witnessed domestic violence growing up, and then she...
You know what I mean? That never works for a guy. It never works. I was sleeping with 15 and 13-year-olds in high school, but I saw violence growing up.
It all makes sense. This is why she's doing it.
I'm sure she did. So what? Matt? So what? Oh.
Yo, what's up, Tommy?
Yeah, what's up? You couldn't get a psychiatrist I ain't doing that. I ain't no fucking pedo supporter. Fuck that.
Yo,
what?
I came in. Well, you were talking about the Helen Hunt movie. That's about Pamela Smart.
Pamela Smart. Yes, I remember.
And she wasn't a teacher. She was like a news anchor. But there was also another movie based. Yeah, she was like a news anchor.
But how did she get access to those kids? though? I remember her being like an EV.
She seduced. Club. She seduced a 15-year-old or something.
Yeah, but they were in school at some point. She was kind of an authority figure.
Maybe she was like a.
She was like it was like the AV club, or something like that.
Right. Yeah, that might have been it too. Yeah. But there's another movie that's kind of based on it. Also called To Die For.
Yeah.
And it's got Joaquin Phoenix in it. He plays one of the teenagers.
Joaquin, it's French.
Joaquin or whatever.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and it's actually a really good movie. It's kind of based. It has elements of that, but it's based heavily on the Pamela.
But see, I sort of got that because she was using sex to knock off her husband, thinking she could pull it off. That makes
yeah.
But these women have a fetish of some kind. There's some kind of sexual misdevelopment here,
Well, I remember. I think you were talking about this. The girl that got knocked up by a younger teenager.
Yeah.
And then I think she ended up staying with him for the rest of her life or something.
No,
you remember that one?
I think what happened is when she got out of prison, they got back together.
Yeah.
But he was 30. He was 30 at that point. She was in her 40s, 50. Yeah, I think they.
Yeah, but they stayed together until she died or something. That was in Washington.
I wish I could.
Yeah,
but I remember it was around 1990. My father was about 13 or 14 years old, and my dad's we're waiting to see this broad. And we're like, she ain't bad looking. And she had a good looking husband. She had a nice family. She had everything that you think a woman like her would want. She had the house, the car, the beautiful kids, and then she's fucking this 13-year-old kid.
Yeah,
and getting pregnant.
The main thing for me, right, is everyone's saying they're making it seem like this is all happening now, all these cases are happening.
No,
it was always happening.
No. I did not. No. I didn't hear anything about this until the 1989 incident and all through the 90s. That's right. I did not hear about it beforehand, and I've never heard of a case prior to that. Yeah.
But like 10, 15 years ago, it was happening a lot.
Yeah.
We just weren't fucking snitches, Tommy. We just didn't snitch.
We didn't snitch about. Oh, maybe it's happening. You're saying the kids back in the 70s, 80s was happening. Everybody kept their mouth shut. Yeah.
Everybody kept their fucking. Even 15 years ago, everybody kept their mouth shut.
I didn't snitch either. But I mean, there wasn't as much of it. Like she was like just about to finish college, and I was just about to finish high school. So we're a little, and then we did work together. You know.
She had been in destructive relationships in the past and was a good candidate for therapy. That Vera had a history of deception.
I had to fuck that 16-year-old. My dad was mean to me. You imagine a guy saying that? Imagine a guy getting some doctor to say, "Hey, his dad was mean to him." Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that?
As well, Judge McSpadden also made
probably been happening forever, but I mean, Matt makes an interesting point. I don't know if it's true, but it's interesting.
Statements that both Vera, her family, the victim, and his family wrote letters to the court in support of the relationship, claiming that it was culturally okay.
Okay, let me pause this video and ask you a question.
In what culture?
Google Chrome's incognito mode between 2016 and 2023. If so, you may be entitled to up to $5,000 in compensation. Now, if you use incognito mode, Google was secretly tracking your data, despite their promises that your search history and personal information was not going to be collected or tracked.
Collects 39 individual data points on you, and so this is all about data. They're trying to figure out how they can get access to it. So creating this incognito mode was supposed to be a way that they were not capturing or retaining your data. That's what we all believed, but they were capturing it. What Google says is we were capturing it, but we weren't keeping it on an individual basis. But the individuals that filed suit was saying no. We signed up for incognito mode believing that when we used it, you weren't capturing our data at all.
What's the next thing, right? So speaking of what's the next thing, what happens to Google?
The next thing, how about the government goes in there and says, you got to fucking delete everything and you got to show us. If you don't, we're putting CEO in jail. How about that?
Well, now, are they at risk of
bet it goes away in a finger snap. We start putting, head CEOs in prison. That's what's got to happen.
Lawsuits from this.
100%.
So if you've used Google's incognito mode during
I think it is a sponsor thing.
The period of 2016 to 2023, you could be eligible to join the lawsuit at no cost to you. Visit browserclaim.com to see if you qualify. Now, I need you to understand, participate.
You probably get caught.
This guy Yankee?
Sign up for this. They may have to get you in Discovery.
Is this guy from like your neck of the woods? He said Quas.
He's a New Yorker. He's ex-cop and a lawyer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I think he's from New York. Or Nate the lawyer. Let's see where he's got to be a Brooklyn guy. Nate the lawyer. Where's he from? I wish he followed me. How come I don't follow him? I'll follow him now. Check me out, man. New York. I like him because he's like the hip hop lawyer.
Yeah, for a second, when I first clicked on, I thought you were watching Dom is Live. I was like, what?
He's a real smart guy, man. This guy's really sharp. And here's another thing too. He was very close with Nick Rekieta, and he just did it straight down the fucking line. And Rekieta, I think, called him out and everything. He said, nope, Nick, you're in big trouble. And so that's when my respect. I always had a lot of respect for him. My respect level went up.
In any lawsuit doesn't guarantee compensation, but you do have the right to seek compensation if your privacy was violated. Now, full disclosure, my firm isn't the only one involved. For instance, one of the largest firms in the country, Morgan & Morgan, is also asking for clients for this lawsuit. Now, for more information and to get started, visit browser.
That's to get him out of it. Yeah.
Claim.com today to protect your rights and hold Google accountable. Now, the link is in the description and in the pinned comment. Now, back to the video. Now, as you can see, pretty similar facts. Family approves in both.
Did I have a feud with Dom? Dom who? I didn't have a feud with Dom, did I?
Dom is Live? Didn't you have a feud? Didn't he say like no more N-word or something? And you were like, hey guys, I gotta say something. We can't do the N-word anymore.
I forget. That whole, I'm really fucking regret doing that. I did have a feud with Dom is Live when he kind of made a pedophile accusation to me when I said that what happened to, and I never talked to him again. He was trying to get through to me. Keemstar, he's another one of those fucking jerk-offs. When what's his name got found out, when he told the exact same story and probably stole it from him, Miley Yiannopoulos told the George Takei story that George Takei told on Stern 20 years earlier, and no one said shit about him, that he had slept with some kind of authority figure in camp or something like that. And probably I actually think it's a bullshit story. But either way, I mean, he was the victim, right? You know, it just shows you when guys, everything's different. And then because I supported Milo at the time, I don't now, by the way. I think he's completely berserk, but I do follow him because he's funny.
He's entertaining.
He really is entertaining. Fucking, if he could just, but he's like, he does all this white nationalist horse shit, you know.
Yeah.
And I can't, but I can watch it and laugh, you know. But no, I don't support him anymore. But he was kind of saying like, talking about diddling kids and stuff. Like, wait, he was the kid, Dom. You know.
Yeah.
Milo relapsed in the sodomy. Oh, did he really? I did not know that. Tyrone's on everything.
Did he give or did he take?
I don't think it's sodomy. Really? Well, we all fall off the wagon. You just have to get
Because
right back
if
on.
he was giving, if he was giving, he could have just been like, guys, I was just pretending they were a woman.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
true. I like that bet he has with Fuentes that he'll have a baby before he does. I think that's just fucking proof that you're gay. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Both are
You're not bad if you're gay. You're not a bad person.
with teens, but one gets 10 years and the other one, she gets 3 months. Now, Haley Carmack had previously gotten in trouble with school officials for getting too close to students, and she initially denied the affair when the detectives initially questioned her in December 2020.
I mean, if you think about this, if you have to have a sodomy clock, okay, and fall off the wagon like a drug addiction, right? A completely legal act between consenting adults, maybe you're not straight. I don't know. You know?
3. She said she was heading to Texas for the holidays, telling her roommates that, she's not coming back. Now, an interesting part about this is the teen boy's father is also facing charges for...
He's also really good at fishing.
I want to know how old this guy is, because he looks young
30s,
to have a 16-year-old son.
Yeah, because he probably banged his teacher and married her.
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
I didn't do, boy. I know your mother.
You are your father's son.
Yeah, by the way, there's only a 4-year difference between my mother and my father, too. My real mother. So
they're saying that he knew of the relationship with the teacher, he failed to report it, and he even knew that the other teens were posing as lookouts while the teacher and his son had sex. It's interesting because Haley would actually come over to his house and be with his son while he was present. And
that's the illegal part. That's highly illegal.
Quote,
yeah, come on over. Bring your girlfriend and your teacher.
Contributed to being delinquency of a minor. I mean, you go right down the fucking list. Probably could sneak a felony in there, and that is wild. I would never.
I hope you get an A, son.
It's funny. Like, this is how I had the game. We're moving to the new house. I was in Tommy's room the other day, right? And I realized in a couple of years, Tommy's going to be a teenager. He'll be 9 in February. Within 5 years, he'll probably be thinking about the opposite sex. And he doesn't realize I'm doing this. There's place to hide chicks in there. How do I know this? Because I was a teenage boy, right? And I'm going through everything. Like, how could he do this? Could she get out the door this way? Blah blah blah. Or a guy? I hope not. Yeah, he's 9. Yeah, he's gonna be 9 in February. He's an old man.
I think he was like 5 when I shot from the point.
No, I think he was younger than that. So
5 or 6.
So he was 2016. You came 21. So
I came 2021. Yeah.
So So this guy's he kind of deserves to go to jail. To be honest with you, I bet he gets more time than the fucking broad does.
Allegedly told witnesses that he would lie for his son if he had to. And also, you get to see the.
Wouldn't we all?
Difference in how
that's like the one thing.
I wouldn't do this. I'd chase her the fuck out of there. I probably wouldn't go to the police. I would chase her the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
shut it down.
The family,
because I get where he's coming. I don't understand her, and I don't really feel threatened by her either. If it was, but here's the thing. The sentencing thing is backwards, as we all know. But I got to be honest with my daughter. Oh my God, I don't know what I'd do.
Probably kill him. Probably
going to jail.
Yeah, and it's crazy how you switch the genders, and it's like.
And
totally
I know
different...
that. See, I know. I understand. I understand that from an emotional point of view. I don't understand it, because here's the thing: like, girls are a lot more affected by fucking stuff like that than guys are. I know that. I was a guy. I know how teenage girls we're weird about sex and what have you because you're not supposed to be having sex when you're a teenager. All right. But we do. You know, that's it. It affects women differently. There's all sorts of studies. Women handle breakups differently, emotionally, hormonally, everything. And guys handle sex differently and what have you. So I'm not as worried. I am worried about what it will do to my daughter. And I'm not as worried about what it'll do to my son. Now, potentially it could, I suppose. You know, but he's not like, we're not living in a society that would shame him like that. And I'd be like, I got caught at 13 sneaking a 14-year-old girl into my house. I remember it was the day The Simpsons started in 1989.
Oh my God.
It was the first episode of The Simpsons, and my stepbrother and both my stepbrother, they went shopping, and then we snuck them in, and I got caught. You want to know how I got caught? This is the worst thing ever. This is another thing. This guy, we had my mother was renting the apartment to this older guy, right? And he was in his 20s, and he let us do it and hooked us up with alcohol. If you can believe that.
Yep, that's illegal.
Yeah.
That ain't flying now.
He hooked us up with alcohol the whole nine, and then we snuck her in. This is 1989. It was the first episode of the Christmas episode of The Simpsons. I'll never forget it because I watched it when I got back. So he was a fucking boomer from Mars. We had an answering machine, right? That never stopped recording because it took magnetic tape, right? So what happens if you miss the call, right, before the answering machine picked up, it would go, "Hi, you reached Callahan Regiment, could please leave your name and number." And if you went through it, you could start talking, right? So I would have known to turn the fucking thing off, right? But he picked up the phone first and said, "It's your girlfriend." And then he handed me the phone. I had no idea the answering machine went off, and my mother came home and heard the entire conversation.
Oh, gosh.
Right. And my father, now we're going through the divorce at the time, and actually, strangely enough, my father, I was removed from my mother eventually. And I was waiting for an ass beating. But what I didn't know is you can't get your ass kicked when your kids are when they're trying to get custody of you. I was waiting for my father to kick my ass so hard, but he didn't. And he probably did. I think I think I would have gotten a beating if they were still together. But what he said, look, I understand, but you're too young. And you can't be, I get it. I understand you're having those feelings. And you know what the weird thing was? I was so young that I did it because everybody was kind of telling me to do it. You know what I mean? I didn't even sleep with her. I told them I did. I didn't have it. I wasn't a man, you know? But I remember that listening to her listen to that call and my mother screaming like, "You're gonna get AIDS!" Oh my God. Yeah,
I just imagine you trying to sneak her in.
You know what they did to him?
Theme.
You know what they did to him? Nothing.
What?
He just got in trouble and was told to leave, and my mother changed his mind. And my father didn't do anything. It was a different world back then. You know, God, I've gotten old to where I'm saying it's a different world back then. They didn't do anything.
Well, what? I mean, it was a different.
Back in my day.
You know what happened to that guy? He was cool and everything, and he's probably a little too cool, if you know. I have never heard more racism out of any one man's mouth. And I don't understand why he was so racist. We lived in Flemington, New Jersey. There was like one black guy in my whole school.
Yeah.
Where he said awful things about black people all the time. And I just kind of like, whatever. He was like my grandfather, right? My grandfather made jokes. But his stuff was... And then he moved out, went on. And he was in Flemington, New Jersey, which is... I think it's pretty whitey over there. And my stepbrother told me his story. He got in a car accident with a black family. And he came out the car going N-word this and it. And they beat him with an inch of his life. He had this ain't even funny. He had a scar from here to here. His face is completely, permanently disfigured. I never saw him after that. My stepbrother ran into him.
Well, I mean, what else do you expect if you do that?
Yeah,
That's you're playing with fire.
He was a lot of fun, but he wasn't very bright.
Yeah.
And he got in Flemington of all the one place where you probably think he'd get away with it. But I guess he hit the wrong guy at the wrong day. You know. And my second generation, I'm like fucking third from Ireland, a long time. I'm Irish American, man. But yeah, they fucked him up. He really asked for it, man. Do you think he called him a slur after? I heard what he called him, and I can't even say it here because I'd probably lose the channel. It was really awful. I feel bad. Nobody should ever be beaten with an inch of their life. I mean, I heard he's in a coma too.
People are narrowing down the exact date, by the way, Tommy.
December 17th. Yeah, the full length.
1980.
December 17th. Yeah, they're all going to Christmas shopping. On Channel 5 in New York. Now you can find the time. But we watched it so find out what time it aired in East Coast, and then you can find out what time those broads had to be out of there.
Dude, I imagine it's all going down while the Simpsons theme song is playing.
No,
like,
I remember thinking when it's dun 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 dun, because I remember I wanted to watch it because I like Tracy Ullman's show and I'm Married with Children and shit like that, right? So I remember when I was watching, I was like, I pulled it off. So it took another 2 days. And remember, I'm on Christmas vacation at this point, so that's another reason I got nailed. She called during the day.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So close.
Don't you worry about getting AIDS. Probably have AIDS.
Of the victim, where in Missouri, they charged the father because they said you knew and you didn't do anything about it. Matter of fact, you consented to this. And in Texas, they didn't charge the family at all, just the teacher. So what do you think about this case? This teacher obviously is getting off.
You know what I think? I wish the courts were fairer on this, but I don't blame them for charging him. I mean, that is really irresponsible. It's beyond all levels of reason. I can't even comprehend it. And it's a weird. It's like that. We kind of laughed at that woman before about living vicariously through your son. I think that woman was right, because that's the only thing that explains it.
Yeah, probably.
It's just a
Tommy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you want the Milo sodomy tweets?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Tyrone has them.
But I don't want any sodomy. I just want the tweets. Tyrone's
getting sodomized live on Rumble.
Tyrone's getting ready. He's on the job. That Tyrone, my favorite Frenchman.
Yeah.
By the way, my whole family's in Nice, or they're heading there right now. I'm home alone. Sucks. It's 2:00 in the morning. I'm wide awake too because I slept. I feel like fucking streaming. And then I got a game. V-Spawn's got a game tomorrow. Should I go alone? I wish I had more friends, like dude friends. I wish I had a Vayhan V-Spawn buddy. You know what I mean? Sodomy clock. 3 years ex-gay. 188 pounds. Streak 0 days. Incident report. He got a picture of fucking Fuentes.
Jesus Christ.
Ew, gross. I gotta like that bitch. Patient reported relapse on Friday in Los Angeles. Yeah, fucking gay Milo. Jesus Christ. It was probably all fucking bit anyway. He's probably never quit. Last week, Urso has left me indifferent to the outcome of the election. I don't care. All evil. So what? Who cares what you think? Wait a minute. I realize today isn't the day for me to be on my high horse.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
That was the same day as that sodomy clock that came out.
You know what he probably did? I bet he did. He told everybody he's doing this. I bet there's a lot of gays out there like, oh, I'd like to fucking turn the clock back. You know, so maybe he's doing it to get more sex. Ever think of that? He's being like tricky.
Tyrone, wasn't Milo like dating some trans woman or something that he was like
Oh
posting
yeah.
Jamie Pine, pulling a Jamie Pine.
No,
Jamie. I told you Jamie Pine did that, right? He told me he wanted to be a family. He was really depressed. And he wanted to be like Andy. And he started banging a transgender to kind of ease his way back.
It's practice, bro. It's like playing baseball in a sandlot.
You know, like the funniest thing that happened on the show. It happened on Twitch too. It was really the funniest. I don't think I didn't record it or took it down. I forget the reason. Probably it wasn't a very good one.
When you start playing baseball, you play in a sandlot, and then you make your way into like an actual baseball field.
Yeah, I guess that's the way I saw it. Well,
it's like touch football.
He even tried that shit. Like, well, she is a girl. I'm like, yeah, fucking, you sure?
You know,
whatever.
When kids are too young to play like real football, like with contact, they play touch football.
I suppose
that's what he's doing. He's playing touch football.
It's too fucking funny. What's the matter?
Dude, as soon as you pulled up your DMs, Keaton's like, I see the Ricky Berwick on Twitter DMs.
Oh, shit.
Bro!
I just asked him. Did you see? I just wrote, okay, he just saw, yeah, I figured. All right. Yeah,
Keaton, I keep telling you, Ricky Berwick's dead.
Oh, stop it! Don't do that.
Don't be mean to him, Matt.
Yes,
He's
I
gonna-
talked to Ricky.
he's gonna have,
Ricky,
like, a heart
I'm not
attack.
giving a total. I'm not giving a total stranger to Ricky Berwick. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, Keaton. Oh my god. You want-
What was it? I think you also missed that Keaton said that the
Does
Nazis
Keaton want to
sunk
come
the
on and talk
Titanic.
about it?
He may do if Keaton. If Keaton, you know what?
Keaton talk about. I'll try to explain to him again.
Someone said in the chat, "Can the Keaton bit in? It's old, buddy. I don't think this is a bit. I think this
All right,
guy's
it's,
just
a new,
like-
it's a new event. We're only gonna. But I put him on. I wasn't gonna put him on, but now we got an event.
Tyrone also wants you to check DMs again.
Oh Jesus Christ, that's too funny. Let's see. Miley anonymous sex with transgender. Boy, yeah. I guess you want. He's vying for your job. Transgender influencer.
You think he could pick a better looking one? That one looks like what's that actor that looks like? I forgot what.
Oh Jesus.
The angel from Constant.
You're neutered and branded. Oh my god. That's so
Tilda
weird.
Swinton. She looks like Tilda Swinton.
I don't know. Looks like Jack. She looks like Jack Nicholson should be saying, "Give me the bat, Wendy." Give me the bat, Wendy. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your fucking brains in. God, I'd love if they ever redo that movie. I'd want to play fucking Jack. I think I'd be perfect. Give me the bat. Give me the bat, Wendy. Milo's transcript. Well, good for him. It's gross. Gross. Is the Keaton there? Keaton's not coming in?
No,
he's
I
not
think
coming in.
I
And then we're done. He doesn't want to come in.
Let's go.
Come on, Keaton. This is your
All right, yeah.
chance.
Let me shout out some peeps. Some peeps. Have you seen? Did you see? I'm interested in what you said, Matt. Like, did you see Ethan Klein's little thing there?
No, I've been like
actively
out of it. Well, I've been my
Keaton's
internet.
waiting to call.
He's waiting to call. All right. Keaton, you're on the air. Do you have something to say to me?
Hi.
Hi. Hello. Do you have something to say?
Okay, buddy.
Thank you, Teddy. Do you have something to say, Keaton? Do you have something to say, Keaton? Did you want to
I saw Ricky Berwick and Twitter DM message.
Yeah, I know. We're friends.
Yeah, I know you're friends.
It's a private conversation. So there you go. I mean, what else you need to know?
What does he smell like?
Also, I see the moon in my area.
Do you?
And
What shape is it right now? Is it like full? Is it like a half?
no, it's a circle. It's a circle of the moon.
Oh. Nice.
Oh, okay. That's a
Okay.
full moon, a big old circle.
Full moon. All right.
Tommy,
Yeah.
can I see Twitter DM? Can I see
No.
Twitter DM?
No, it's a personal conversation.
I just give it. Can I just get one word? I just want one word.
No,
I think you said I figured, so
You know
there's
he's
that.
going through hell right now. I mean, I'm not even joking, Keaton. He's like going through hell.
I know.
Yeah, with the cancer.
With his mother. He's like bad things are happening to him, Keaton. You know that? You
Yeah.
understand? Keaton?
What? What?
I'm watching lolcow live, Tommy.
I thought you're not in lolcow streams.
I'm not. I got fired.
For what?
For sleeping with Keem's girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's normally not something people like.
Jesus Christ. All right. I mean, anything else, Keaton?
Can I ask something to Keaton? too?
Yes, you can.
What?
Yeah.
Keaton, what were you talking about with the Nazis and the Titanic? I kind of want to hear a little bit more about that.
What?
Well, because And his chat's going crazy. They talk about some random shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the whole show, to be honest with you, Kane. It's kind of my whole bit. Just random, stupid internet shit. That's what I do. I like stupid stuff.
Yep.
All right, Keaton, you have a great day.
But this is the night.
You got you there, Tommy.
Yeah.
Fucking own.
I'd have a good night, Keaton.
Have a good night, Keaton.
Okay.
Have a good one. Take care of yourself.
Okay.
Poor Keaton.
I owned you in the marketplace of ideas.
Oh my god. This is brutal.
You and Destiny and Klein, you all own me.
Sad now.
You better check yourself before you wet yourself.
Oh god. Keaton, I appreciated you having being on.
I love you, Keaton. Hey, shout out to $10 and above. Remember, Zionist was just
Jeff's waiting to call.
Oh, is that the real Fluffman? Wait a minute, he left the server? Oh no, he didn't. Okay.
He's just being patient. He's
Fluffman,
being
you're on the air.
J. Lee moment.
What's up?
You got fucking
Yo.
access. You can bump in here if you want. Everybody else is coming. Yeah, what's up, Jeff?
Oh, not much. Is that Keaton thing a bit? Is that a bit or is that real?
Yeah, it's all my idea. I'm brilliant, aren't I?
It's actually me on an alt account.
That makes sense.
It's as real as it gets, motherfucker. All right. Remember when Zionist was just a term, that conspiracy, that's a really good, Austin Silverman, conspiracy theory and racist use. Yeah, I remember that when I was a kid. When I heard Zionist, oh, that guy's kooky. Now it's common as dirt, which actually plays into Ethan's argument that the anti-Semitism is a lot more acceptable. Now it's the left-wing's term for Jew. Who knew? Who knew? Jerry Seinfeld. Who knew? Teddy, I respect the guy's talent in acting. Thanks so much, Teddy. Again, Tommy, you should do this instead of fake gameplay in your reaction to an older drama, but put current drama. Fake all SFTP episode. I thought it's come up before. Rip Bibby Rory, tragic loss of beacon of positivity. Thanks so much, Teddy, for being so generous today. I do appreciate it. I also encourage people to do Streamlabs if possible. But thank you so much. And however way you got to do it, do it. Do it. Do it. Let me see if there's any other ones here. I'll read them off. Then we'll go through Pats, which are guaranteed. Guaranteed. This is like the rolling of the credits. Recent events. Teddy, you're going on both. Just going to one end, Teddy. Save some money. Save me some money. I kind of like Stern because he's a working class hero. Hasan likes the kid because he's a working class Houthi. The common ground to be had. Teddy. Also, the Jews is just to do that. Can we all talk about the group that's actually controlling everything? Those filthy Swedes. That's a 215 buckaroos. And thank you so much. We'll go to Pat's.
No, you got to do the King Charles. You didn't do the King Charles one.
King Charles is $2. Yeah, no, it's $5. It's
yeah,
$5. $5.
Well, but still, it's funny one. It's funny
all right,
one.
I tell more Irish jokes, but I'm afraid Mix Like Tommy would blow up over that.
See?
And with that, even though it's $5, he gets
Do you have a clip of that?
He gets the thing of the day. That's you win. That's King Charles. That was really good. That kind of stuff's funny. I think that's funny. I'm okay with that. Mavsy, Little Manly, Oatbag, Rex, and one Family Guy, Abby Blackburn, Ashley B, Billion Bones, Blue Jacket, Cody Grill, Final Flash, Kinetic Kel. Great interview, by the way. My suggestion again, release the full thing and then also the stuff thing. I think it was really fun. I had a really good time at Cal, and I really wish the best for her YouTube career. She's a sweetie, an absolute sweetie. Well, because we have this conversation about where I think she should do with her career, which is like none of my business, but I felt like it was. It might be funny. Latchkey Goth Boy, Nesquik, not your typical mom, Panic Pun, Reynolds Hughes, Old Timer, Taylor D, Tommy C's Cat, Tribby Savage, Genie, and the great, the only, the cat in the I don't know what is it called? The Avatar, Picklington, who supports me on so many levels. And thank you all. I may come back. I don't know. It's fucking like 3 a.m. and I am fucking wired. So I may come back. A quick meetup in the thing afterwards. I'll go in there so all you guys can meet up with me and bullshit whatever you want to fucking bullshit. I don't know how long I'll be in there though. So you guys in the States might be a good time for you. If you wanted to bullshit and use your Discord, make sure your stuff's synced and you're a member and all that other stuff. Shout out to Circuit T for 65 months. Metalstead for 6. And Ken for 6. Thanks so much. And Fresh Brewski as well, who's been around for 34 months. So. So there you go. Let's all move on. Thanks so much, everybody. Good time. And look for clips and podcasts. I'll see you Monday. Peace.